Okay, so the question is, if there was a producer that would produce this, what band would they have also produced, or what artist?
Is this a trick question? Is this trivia?
No, I want to get your opinion, because for me this screams two bands, but
Don't
the
tell me.
producer
Don't
is very
tell me.
particular. I feel like it's like someone's clearly gone to this producer and gone, I want to sound like this person.
Yeah.
Who is it?
So only one particular person you think?
Mumford and Sons?
Okay, bring it here, turn it up a bit.
I don't know, to me it just sounds like Sam Fender.
You've never heard Sam Fender before
I have.
now. Have you really?
Yeah.
I also agree.
Oh, you do know that? That's the worst.
Sounds
song.
like Sam Fender.
Don't like that song.
Mumford and Sons?
Nah, not Mumford. Mumford sounds more like, you know, banjo.
Sounds like the Killers.
Sounds like the Killers. That is the one. That's one of the two bands I was gonna say.
So that means the other one must be Bruce Springsteen.
Yes. There we go. He's got it. Okay, so I was gonna say, for me, this is so obviously someone
It
going.
just sounds like Bernard
Can I sound a bit like Bruce Springsteen in this? The producer going, yeah, I'll do my best. And the weird thing is, he sounds exactly like Brandon Flowers from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Killers.
it does.
But that's something I've been listening to, a bit of Sam Fender. Also, I've been listening to one of the best 21 Pilots songs, which is Car Radio. Have you heard that one?
It's very old.
It is quite old, but I think people should know about it. You should know about this, guys.
It's a very,
heard it?
very old song.
Never heard it?
I don't know who 21 Pilots are. Do I need to have heard the first 20 before I know?
Oh, congrats on the best dad joke I've
Dad
heard.
joke of the night. Welcome to a lot of them.
Other than that, I was going to say LA Salami. If you like Bob Dylan, he's just had a EP out. LA Salami.
Is that a rapper? Is that a band? What is it?
Is it French? Is it La Salami?
Salami.
It's L.A. Salami. And he's a British singer-songwriter with like a Dylan-esque kind of acoustic vibe.
I like Dylan. I'll check it out.
Have a butchers, yeah, honestly. Everyone should
Okay,
check it out.
so, unlike normally,
Yeah.
I've actually listened to some recent music.
Have you actually? I can't actually quite believe it.
Recent music.
Go
So,
on.
new Green Day album.
I've heard a tune from it. It's really
Socks Balls. Didn't like it.
I feel like there's different views.
good. I've only heard one song. I heard some guy shared it. I thought it was alright.
Yeah.
It's
No,
different. It's different.
If you listen to one or two songs, then fine. But I listened to the whole album. I think there's 10 tracks, 11 tracks, and it literally just one song just bleeds into the next.
It's very pop-like,
And
isn't
it's
it?
very.
I gave it a listen
I
as well.
want to know if Billy Joel can sing anymore, because it sounds like he can't.
His voice is really high now,
He's
right?
really high, and
High-pitched
also they just put
auto-tune.
loads of auto tune,
Very
loads of distortion.
Yeah, obviously
Can
auto-tune.
Billy Joel sing?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Could he ever sing?
What
Probably
happened?
not.
Yeah, exactly. He was never like one of the great.
He could give you like this really great sort of guttural roar though.
I
I
guess.
remember back in American Idiot days, he was incredible and like at his peak. But it feels like maybe he's just like either lost his voice a little bit, or he just doesn't want to do
I don't know. I
the
think
same effort.
I
anymore.
think laziness personally.
Maybe. He did an album acoustically with Nora Jones before this, so he's definitely doing some like completely different stuff.
Okay then.
Not quite so rock and roll as we thought.
But yeah, so gave that a listen. Not too much of a fan. Bit disappointed I spent money on it, to be perfectly honest with you.
Oh man.
And then in the last like 24 hours, Enter Shikari brought some new music out.
Really?
No way.
They got a new single out.
Shit. Awesome.
Dreamer. It's called the Dreamer Hotel.
Is it just one song?
Yeah, just one song, and then they've got a new album out in April.
That's so exciting.
Yeah,
Oh,
new
awesome.
Shikari. So that's quite good. It sounds a lot like, obviously, their last one.
Right.
It's just kind of
They've got a Shikari sound now though.
yeah,
they
but
really
they haven't.
do.
Yeah, but they haven't gone back to proper
Shit.
Shikari days. They haven't gone there. They've more just kind of sticked with what they've been doing. It's probably going to be more of the same. A lot more politically driven tracks, I'd imagine.
I can imagine as well.
But yeah,
Awesome.
that's I've actually gone into the world and listened to some recent
Excited.
tunes.
I'm proud of you, man.
I'm proud of myself.
Anything from you, Tom?
Yeah, I listened to the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood soundtrack for the 50th time.
Yes.
I listened to, because I like to hurt myself, I listened to the Lion King soundtrack from the new one.
Oh,
Me,
God.
It's terrible!
I bet it is.
So my missus loves it. So the Lion King, the new Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
So they did a soundtrack for it, which is just everyone butchering all
I
your
can
favourite Lion
imagine
King songs.
all the Elton John classics.
So bad. Like the only
Beyonce.
like, but then it's interesting to listen to just to see like how people
How bad
just
Beyonce does.
don't. Well, she wrote an original song for it, which she thought, and we'll get onto it later. She thought it was going to be like a shoe-in for the Oscars. Just didn't even get nominated. Fuck, it's dying for
Imagine being that way though. Like you write something, or you star in something, you think like, you know, I really feel like this is going to get me an award.
This is the one.
Everyone's just like,
what is this shit?
There was an interview, they wouldn't even let her play it. Like the Oscars, she wanted to perform live, and then they were like, "No, J-Lo's doing the Super Bowl, and Eminem's doing the Oscars." And
why,
you're out.
It's weird. Why was that a thing? Like, I haven't watched the Oscars, but why was
Eminem
the whole Eminem thing a thing?
Yeah. Okay, before we do this, guys, welcome to a very special episode. Because we haven't even introduced... Sorry.
Eminem is here!
This is it. So,
He's
this is my mate
coming
Tom.
now.
We're going to do an Oscars special today.
Mm-hmm.
So, I hope you enjoy. Sorry for not introducing us earlier. Anyway, so we will get on to the Oscars. But, yeah, so I've known Tom for a few years. Mainly from the pub.
Pub times. all working boys.
Indeed. But yeah, so what was the performance of at the Oscars?
Apparently he played Lose Yourself,
So he
which I don't
He came
understand
out and did
either.
Lose Yourself, and he did it in like, he tried to do it in a nice Oscar-y way. So behind him there was like people on violins and things like that, trying to make it like it's art.
I
Not
see,
just
yeah.
rap. But obviously, because it's the Oscars, he's only performing it to a load of people wearing like suits and like just doing this. And there's a few people getting into it, but obviously, you know, black people got nominated. So there's no one there. And then like Billie Eilish is in the crowd looking a bit like this was made before I was born.
Like, what is this?
But there's no reason. Like, there was no like. I mean, he's got a new album out on Spotify. I've heard it. I've heard it's fucking shit.
Yeah.
We
feel like
yeah
we've
we
discussed
we
this.
You
discussed
discussed
it.
it.
Yeah.
I think
Not a
I'll
fan.
listen to one or two tracks, but once again, it just kind of bleeds into the next.
Do you know what I'm getting fed up with is seeing Billie Eilish everywhere, all of the time.
She's doing
a fucking vocal or something like that as well.
She's doing the new James Bond tune.
She is indeed. Yeah, we also discussed that on the same episode. That was the...
I do listen to this, man.
I do listen to it. I'm a fan.
I do listen, but you know, I just
I argue about this shit with so many people anyway. It would just be like arguing about I can't give her an argument. That's why I've had to come.
But Billie Eilish, I think... Like, I didn't see her performance. Did she do anything we know? Did
So
you
Billie
guess
Eilish did the memoriam thing, so when they do all the dead people.
Oh,
Dead-
all the
all the
dead
people that have passed away, unfortunately, last year. She did that with some guy I've never heard of.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know what the tune was.
I'll have to check it out. But at the same time, yeah, we're just getting so fed up.
She was
with it
introduced by
everywhere.
Steven Spielberg, and clearly has no idea who she is. And he comes on, does this really like sort of like looks at the camera and goes, "Obviously, we have to recognise all the people." And really, you know, he's talking about like cinematographers and lighting people that passed away, and he's now like.
He goes,
He recognises them from like his kids' like records. So, Billie
Eyelash?
what's he doing? What's she doing then? Did she do like a rap over the?
No,
Him reading the name.
not over the memorial. She didn't make them all rhyme.
Eminem does lose
He's dead.
himself.
She's dead.
That's what I mean. Like, how would you?
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Lose yourself in the...
What should you do? Like, you know, RIP these guys.
No, it was nice. I mean, I didn't know the song, but it's just a song. It was nice.
Well,
But you don't really see her because basically what it does is like she'll sing and then it just cuts to pictures of the people,
Right.
And then like the famous like actor people, it'll cut to like, little clips of them doing acting.
I'm the bad guy.
That's probably the one.
I'll just imagine that.
Our least favourite song, I think.
Have a little dance track like in between seeing these people.
But that's it for music, I think. I don't have any others, but yeah.
We're really scraping the barrel.
Scraping the barrel. We've heard Green Day.
Let's be
Although I
honest.
was going to say, are you a big fan of Blink-182?
Yeah, man.
Yes, so are we. From way back, we've always loved Blink-182, and they are kind of going through a bad phase. I listened to... Do you remember when Chester Bennington died and he had that kind of in memorial kind of... what was it? A concert with like all his friends brought in, and they had sort of Avenged Sevenfold, Sum 41.
Yeah.
Blink-182 did what
They're
I've
still
done.
alive.
They're still going.
Okay.
Not with Tom DeLonge,
Yeah.
but with Matt Skiba from Alkaline Trio. And you just hit like he's the sort of vocalist that he just kind of yells things at you as loud as he can and hopes that that's enough. And he did What I've Done by Linkin Park, and it was just this like he gets to the end, he goes, "What I've done," and it's just yelling it as loud as everybody there must be going, "Oh." But we started listening to Neighbourhoods, and I wanted to say, if you like Blink-182, listen to Neighbourhoods, but I think a lot of people, they listened to it and then they went, oh, well, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't All the Small Things.
Yeah.
This isn't like that kind of kids, like California vibe. But actually, I listened to that again the other day, and we were listening to it in the car. And it was a really good CD.
I think it is kind of underrated because wasn't that their big comeback?
That was
album?
supposedly,
It was their big comeback album from when they had that big break.
Yeah.
No one thought they were going to tour again. No one thought they were going to be together.
Yeah, that was it.
And they did Neighbourhoods, and everyone was just kind of like, they're a bit grown up. I'm not sure whether I like it.
That was it.
I
They
really like
had
it.
some
It's got
grown
some-
up stuff
Before
happen
they
to them,
went
hadn't
away,
they?
but they'd always done grown up stuff on their albums.
They'd
You look at
always
things like
had that.
Always and things like that. You know, it's not all just about your dick out. Like there's other stuff in there as well.
Piss and fart
And, like,
jokes all the time, yeah.
And like, cause like I'm an age where like all the small things came out when I was 14. So I was a kid when it came out. So
You're
I was
at
like,
the right
yes,
age
it's great.
for it.
And Take Your Pants Off and Jacket came out when I was like sort of 15, 16. So when
What a great album.
when other stuff came out, when they were talking about, you know, not just about things like that, I was like, yeah, man. It was like Harry Potter. Like I grew up with it.
I'm the
It
exact
evolved with
same.
me.
Yeah.
So I've got friends that are like slightly older than me, and they're like, how can you enjoy Harry Potter? I'm like, because when I started watching Harry Potter, he was the exact same age as me. I grew up with
Yes,
Harry Potter.
we all had that
So there's a
privilege.
little bit of Harry Potter with inside.
That's it. And with Blink-182, I think we all were getting to that kind of like, everything's so depressing teenage phase, and then they...
Well, yeah, that's the kind of I miss
they
you
go through it.
stage.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you
Yeah.
get a bit further, and you know, talking about Up All Night and
Yeah.
Neighbourhoods and stuff like that. It's, yeah.
I heard off Cheshire Cat, they even have like quite a dark breakup song on that first Cheshire Cat album. I was quite surprised. But yeah, that Neighbourhoods album, I think it was underrated at the time because people were thinking it's not the same. But there was a new sound entirely. It gave Travis entirely like
You
do
can-
what you want.
You can tell
Show
that
off,
Travis has definitely sort of come along
Yeah.
from those days.
And the other thing is they'd had some really hard stuff to get through. So they'd
Yeah.
had
We had the plane crash,
the
Travis.
plane crash and Travis nearly died though.
Yeah.
Good friend DJ AM died. I mean, it was bound like people if they started singing about I don't know, like, you know, first date. If that whole album was
Yeah.
first date, everyone would be like, "What? How is that possible?"
Yeah, sort of why are you still talking about this kind of stuff?
Yeah, exactly. So it was I just wanted to say, if you like Blink-182, give that album another shot. I think check it out. So other than that, so we listened to this because we went to see the film
Why are you looking at me?
Parasite. I forgot the name of it.
Well,
We went to see Parasite and it was sold out because obviously it's got all the nominations. We went to see it at the weekend just before the Oscars. And
before.
Just
the
before.
Oscars.
Thought it was cool, man.
so hipster.
Yeah, before it was cool. Well, that's what we thought. We thought we were
Yeah.
going there to be cool.
This is it.
Got to the box office. Hey, two for Parasite, please. No, mate. Sold out.
Sold out all day long. We were there
Yeah.
like, sorry?
So you think that's because it won the BAFTAs? And
Yeah.
then suddenly everyone was like,
Yes.
hang on, what's this?
100%.
I think that
What's
was
this?
it. Yeah,
I'm not
definitely.
I'm not too sure that Kingston Town is a big
Yeah.
place for
No, exactly.
for Korean movies. But
It's crazy.
It
It's given
is.
me a little bit of faith in humanity that people are going out and seeing this film because it's an international
Yeah.
film. It's kind of like not what people are usually. It's not Avengers, is it?
So I saw Parasite. So I was in France last year, and it basically got released in Europe way earlier. I mean, I know
Did it?
I know the release dates are sometimes different, but sometimes it really is taking the piss.
Yeah.
Especially when you know it's a good movie, and and you know it's gonna get like pirated and it's gonna be online.
Yeah.
So it was out in France, and I'd heard loads about it because the guy Bong, he did Snowpiercer. Have you seen
Oh,
that?
I've heard of that. You know,
It's really good. Check it out.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I knew who he was, and his film was coming out, and I'd read loads of buzz about it, and I was like, "Oh, great, we'll go and see it." And then I remember like having not an argument, but a discussion with the lady at the box office. So obviously, I was like, cause we'd seen other films, so I'd been travelling for 6 months.
Right.
So we'd seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when we were out there,
Nice.
and Spider-Man as well. But that was different because it wasn't going to be subtitled. So what I was trying to find out was,
are they going
is it going to in the subtitles? Because if the
Yeah.
subtitles were in French and the thing's in South Korean, I'm fucked.
Screwed. There was
I mean,
zero chance.
you're not going to understand it on two different
Yeah,
accounts.
exactly.
So, but the one we saw, there was two subtitles at once. So it's just French
nice.
subtitles, English subtitles.
You got like
and then the movie.
half the screen going.
So it kind of worked out because there was loads of people in there, and it was an empty cinema. Because by this point, it won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. So,
Oh,
so it
okay.
won.
Yeah, I was
the
about to
film
say,
festival.
I'm pretty sure it won,
Yeah.
it won stuff at
Yeah,
Cannes.
So, which I think is why, like in France, it was like being shown
That's where
everywhere.
it kicked off. Okay.
But no one was seeing it. And then, I mean, I absolutely loved it.
So I've heard that this film deserved it hands down from people that have seen it. So it's almost apparently like leagues ahead of anything else that was like nominated. We tried to see it. I haven't seen it. So tell us about it. What do you think?
So, right, first of all, it's one of those movies where if I tell you too much, it'll go.
Okay,
The first rule about Parasite Club is you don't talk about Parasite. so the general gist I can give it to you, it's a social dark comedy.
Okay.
And it's basically about this poor family in South Korea, and they live like mum, dad, son, daughter, and they live in like an area the size of this. And then like they're really poor, so at the start you see them sort of trying to steal Wi-Fi from like the local people, and like their windows, like these windows that goes onto the street, and there's drunk people just having a piss, and it sort of sprays in.
So they're kind of living, they're slumming it. Then.
Yeah, they're really slumming it. They make like a little bit of money. They do is like making sort of like pizza boxes up for a local pizza company.
Crikey.
Anyway, so just by luck, the son gets a job as a basically faking it as a tutor. So his friend is a tutor for this rich family son, and his friend's going away. So his friend says, "I'll tell you what, I'll do you a favour, and I'll tell them that you can do it, tutor, because you can do it. You can blag it. You're only teaching a kid, South Korean, and that. So
You can speak the language.
so-
Why not?
so yeah, essentially. I mean, so he gets in, and then slowly, what the son does is sees that there's other jobs around the house that they're doing, and slowly gets the whole family in to work for this family.
Do you think he starts sort of going round and like breaking wardrobes and furniture? Can you see that shelf there, mate? I think someone needs that doing there. Do you need someone? I know someone for that. I'll get the handyman in.
Really, the windows cracked. I don't know how that happened. Yeah.
So it basically ends up that all the poor family work for the rich family, but the rich family don't know that the poor family related.
Right.
So they kind of get in because he couldn't get them in and say, "This is my sister." So we're like, "Oh, you're trying to get your sister a job."
Yeah.
So
he just says,
so they kind of all act as if they're strangers.
they all act as if they don't know each other, but they happen to work for this family.
make up names for
And
each other.
then-
Yeah.
It's very much like comments on like how the rich treat the poor, and how the poor will do anything to sort of get where they're going in South Korea.
So this
And
is why it
then-
resonates internationally. Cause
Yeah, I think so. I think that definitely. I mean, first of all, like the way it progresses and how it builds to a climax, which is stuff I can't talk about because it would literally fucking ruin it for you.
Can't wait.
It's just mental, and but it's done so perfectly well.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones. If you look back on it, you see how tight the script is, and you see how tight it is. And I think it's probably about an hour and 40 minutes.
Okay.
And it just makes you think about
That's
how.
good. Doesn't kind of over
Double,
doesn't
like
overrun.
literally half of the Irishman.
Yeah. I mean, I've
that's-
seen it twice now. So I saw when I came back, me and my girlfriend. So I took her to see it because she didn't come with me in France. She was like, "Why would I go and see this?" And I was like, "It's a fair point. You'll hate it."
And now it's got the
Yeah,
Oscar.
exactly. But then I came back and she was like, "Why didn't you take me to see Parasite?" I tried to. So I saw it twice, and the second time, then you really realise. You look back on it and you say like every single line means something. Everything is a comment on something else.
Super concise.
And yeah, I couldn't name like out of all the movies that came out this year. Before that, I saw that like I was like, "Oh, it's Joker. It's gonna be Joker."
I think we all thought that, especially after the
I think
battle.
we were.
yeah.
I think we were talking about it as well. We were kind of like Joker, but then when 1917 came out,
Yeah, which was getting all the buzz.
a
after
lot
that.
of buzz.
Yeah.
Definitely in America when that came
So
out.
what did Parasite win for?
So Parasite won Best Picture, won Best Director. Normally they go sort of hand in
They go
hand.
hand in
they
hand.
usually
If you're the
Okay.
Best Director of the year, then surely you've made the best movie. Of the
Right.
year.
And I guess that's a big surprise already, having not getting Sam Mendes the best director, because
Oh, yeah, so
that
that-
was the
so
one
the-
he was.
The way they announce them, they announce Best Director first.
Right. Okay.
Then there's a few more sort of like lesser ones, like lighting
okay.
and stuff. So when he won that, I think like obviously like it cuts to Bong the director, and he's sort of sitting there like, I got this one. But also, but the weird thing is like because there's the other one which I don't know how it's called now. It used to be called just Best Foreign Movie, but I think they don't call it that. I think it's like Best International Movie. Or
Right.
Yeah, I think it's
movie
I
not
think
in
it's
an English
international.
language, but
yeah.
So, but normally if you're nominated for that, you won't win the other one because it's like you'll have this one,
This is the thing.
but you won't get that
I think
one.
they do that quite a
And
lot.
I think
Yeah.
that happened last year with Roma,
Oh yeah.
which came out, and everyone thought that was a really really good movie, and it won the best foreign language movie, but it didn't win the big one. So he won that one. That was the first one he won.
I see.
And then he won best screenplay. And then slowly, and then it was like, oh, that's been done now.
Yeah.
And then it sort of cuts to him at certain points, and he's just sort of like drinking. It's like, 2 Oscars.
Yeah.
Like, no more's gonna come. And then he wins director, and then like everyone starts to lose their shit.
Yeah.
And he's got this. There's this girl who's his. So he doesn't really talk in English. Like he'll do bits and bobs.
Okay.
And stuff like that, so he'll just say things like "I love Martin Scorsese," and then his interpreter will come in and sort of say other things.
Right.
And she's really, really good because he's just like talking
Uh huh.
in South Korean, And then she's just like really, really picking up on it and translating it like on the spot there and literally
wow.
doing the speech for him.
Awesome.
So yeah, so he wins. Best original screenplay, best international movie, best director,
Director
and best picture.
Best
And the big one.
picture.
So they got 4
They
all
got
day
4.
then.
Must have been incredible when he
really,
gets
really good.
best film.
Which
Especially for-
it's broken. It's the first South Korean movie ever to be nominated.
wow.
So obviously, it's the first one to ever. It's the first film not in the English language to win best picture.
That's groundbreaking.
That's
one.
the biggest one.
Huge.
Well, the
If
weird
you-
thing is, go on, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, that's the biggest thing, especially for the Oscars. You know, people are always talking about,
Yeah.
you know, you've got the, you know, people of colour not being
Oscars so
represented.
white.
Yeah.
Yes.
People of colour
Yeah.
not being represented, you know, women not being represented properly, and then, you know, if you go to actual foreign pictures,
Yeah.
are they getting the proper representation? And clearly, you know, it's quite a good thing that, you know...
Lots of people thought that. I mean, it doesn't work that way because the Oscars are voted for by the Academy, so it's not like they make a decision. But lots of people, like, you know what Twitter's like. People
Yeah.
are just saying, "Oh, they've clearly given it to them." Because everyone's kicked off about no black people being
I
nominated.
did. I honestly, when I heard
give
that,
it
I was
all
a little
that.
bit,
I was like,
especially
it
after.
doesn't work that way. Everyone gets a vote, so
Right.
it's a vote type
I
thing.
see. I thought when Joaquin Phoenix brought it up in his BAFTA speech, I was thinking, maybe they've kind of incorporated. But like you said, they will have a vote, so yeah.
I think so. Joaquin Phoenix obviously won as well for Joker, and his speech was very like he was talking about veganism in this one.
Yes, he kind of said it was a very like he kind of hit so many issue points, didn't he? Like throughout the speech.
Yeah, I mean he's had a bit of a backlash from it now because it.
Has he?
Well, a lot of people have thought that he's won every award,
Uh-huh.
and every time he seems to go up, he seems to be just pissed off about something new, which is fair enough. There's a lot of things to be pissed
There's
off
a lot
about.
of stuff,
I
exactly.
know,
yeah.
and he's Joaquin Phoenix. Like,
Yeah.
so what he wants, as far as I'm concerned. But I mean, I think that was the main one. Everyone just knew that was.
We kind of knew it.
Yeah.
I think we'd have all been a little bit upset for him if he didn't get
Yeah.
it. 'cause
Well, I
it's
think you're
just
looking
like
at the rest of the
passion.
people in there. Like we kind of looked around and we were like,
Yeah.
you had what was
We
it?
had the two popes guy.
Yeah, you had
You've
the
seen that.
guy from the Two Popes. You
Oh,
had
yeah.
Jonathan
Adam
Price.
Driver.
Jonathan Price, that's
Yeah,
it.
you had Jonathan Price. You had Adam Driver. There was
Good
a couple of other.
performance.
Yeah, there were a couple of other in there. But
Yeah.
there was, it's
DiCaprio was in there.
yeah, but even
Deserves his
that as well.
nomination.
For me personally, I didn't think that
I think
was
Joaquin
worth-
Phoenix is far and away. I think the best in that role.
Like it just doesn't compare, does it? I mean, just like the complexity of that character
Yeah.
needed such a lot of like immersion into that role. I a little part of me really did feel like compared to Revenant in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, if I can spit it out, he was just like absolutely so captivating. And actually, I think his acting was better than The Revenant because there was just so much more to do, and there was the kind of complexity of having this is a film being filmed and you're playing a character within a character. It's like that's a hard thing to pull off.
I think the difference between the two movies as well is that you could go watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and you know you could watch it as a movie, whereas when you watch The Revenant, you kind of got the thing of you're it's Oscar bait. Do you know what I mean? You're trying.
I've never seen it since I saw it. No,
Yeah,
no one's
exactly.
watching
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
So
And
true.
would you watch it again?
No,
Probably not.
probably
Would you
not.
watch Once Upon a Time?
Yeah, of course.
Again?
Definitely.
Like you know, there's it's different strokes.
It's watchability. I think the Revenant. Yeah, I can't remember who was up against really, but I think that was
True.
definitely a case of like Leo needs an Oscar. Like, give Leo.
We all
Leo,
thought that, right?
Leo
Because
an
everyone
Oscar.
thought he was going to win it
Yeah.
for Wolf of Wall Street, and he didn't get it. I think everyone was a bit crushed by that. So yeah, it was time coming. But so not only that, but Brad Pitt won, didn't he, for supporting actor?
Yeah.
I think
And
that's
he
well
brought up a
deserved.
little
That's
bit.
well deserved.
He kind of just hinted a little bit of politics in there.
Oh yeah, what was
to
his
do with-
line? He
It
said.
was to do with the impeachment.
Yeah, no,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
he said, I won't know the name of the American guy, but he said, oh, they've told me I've only got 45 seconds, which is more than the Senate gave whoever.
Yes, that was
the other
it.
day.
Nice little
He-
subtle, and he said, "I don't think we should take this," or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
we
Didn't he
should-
also mention something about like supporting like stunt actors and stuff like that? Because
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
in
because
Once
Clint
Upon a
Booth,
Hollywood,
the
Did
Australian,
he
so,
say
yeah.
that?
he was a stunt double. That was
Yeah,
his job.
yeah.
So I think he
Yeah, he gave a
also-
shout out to that.
Yeah.
That was
which is
cool.
really really good. Like I know a few people within that kind of industry.
Oh, nice.
They really like that. The fact that you've got someone that's you've got this massive movie star.
Rooting
He's
for
won
you.
this. He's won this Oscar, and even he has turned around and said, like fair play. Like these stunt guys do a lot of shit. Like
yeah.
they need their, they need
do
their.
get
Well,
a
it's
lot
one of the
of
few
money,
things.
though.
Why is there no Oscar for best stunt team or best
That's
stunt?
very
team?
true.
Like,
Actually.
you get visual effects.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not easy, but like some guys are behind the computer
a
screen.
big part
But there are
of it,
people
though.
that break their bones and they do this stuff,
That's
and
so
like it's
true,
never
dude.
been. It's
Yeah.
never been a thing.
Very
That's
true.
Yeah.
So maybe.
What was the
I doubt it'll
cinematography
change, but-
like within Parasite? Because it was that.
It was never going to win.
fundamental
I
part
mean,
of
it was good. But
Okay.
it was never good. I mean,
Nothing-
you've
nothing
seen,
like
you've
groundbreaking.
seen 1917, so
Yes,
there's always going
yeah.
to be something.
Was it more? So it was more focused. It was more story character
I mean,
driven.
it's literally set in this like big house, which is like a big expensive house, the house that they sort of
Manor house type
get
thing.
into. So
right.
it's sort. I mean, it's good. Like it's very close quarters.
Okay.
And but there's also lots of wide shots because it's a big ensemble cast.
Okay.
They have to see that everyone's doing stuff, but it's never going to win.
I
There's
see,
a lot of stuff
I
better
see.
for it. But yeah, it was really good.
It was
I
the
think.
script and the acting and the.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was strange that none of the acting got nominated. I think that's something
Oh
that.
really?
I mean, I think one thing you'll find with things like the Oscars is that when it comes to movies and directors and stuff where the names aren't known as well,
Yeah.
or like cinematography or
That's
something like
very
that,
true,
then
yeah.
you find. But when it comes to actors, they're generally like we want the big hitters. Like we want to
This
see
is
people.
it,
We want to see
yeah.
people in the crowd.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, Brad Pitt. I think I always thought that he was very much like going to get it. Although before it, he was interviewed and he really didn't think he was going to get it. He was very much like yeah, but yeah. Other than that, so Laura Dern won.
Yeah, Laura
Or-
Dern won for Marriage Story.
for best supporting actress.
Yeah, that's best supporting. That's
Right.
and we've all seen Marriage Story.
Yes, we
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
One of the few we actually
I
all
absolutely loved it. I adored it.
I really like
I
it.
thought it was fucking
saw.
brilliant.
And we
Stan
disagree on
was
this.
very dubious.
Well, I will say that I don't know if I'd see it if it was at the cinema. Like it was good. It was good on Netflix.
That's a good point.
Well,
Because
I don't know if I'd
compared
have
to
paid
the
the
other
money.
ones nominated, actually, like
Well, I'm not-
that was
I'm-
not an event cinema. Like with
But it felt more like a
1917.
play, if anything else.
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
was like
I
a
was
play.
sitting
It
on
was very
stage,
similar
like,
to
big
a
long
play.
monologues.
I'm
And,
not sure. I don't know how you'd, because I didn't watch any trailer for it at all, and I think maybe I don't know how you'd kind of glamorise that and put that into a trailer. I
Yeah.
don't know how you'd break that movie down at all.
no.
The only reason that I watched it is just Stan mentioned it. I was like, fuck it, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
So I watched
Stan.
it. I thought it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it.
I think it was. Here's a question: would you have gone to see that film if it wasn't those two actors? See that I think
I
that was a
would,
big part of it.
but I'm a nerd.
You're a
I know,
film nerd.
I know the director, Noah Baumbach,
Yeah.
who's married to the girl with the Little Women.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Greta Gerwig.
Interesting.
But yeah, I watch all his stuff, so he's really good. But like, if I was the average person, maybe not. It
This
just
is
it's
the
not a very
thing.
cinema film.
It's
I
not
think-
a very
and-
cinema
no,
film.
I agree.
That's so
I
much-
agree.
The cinema's a rip-off. why would I? Or why would I? Why would I
£13
not?
at Odeon it was.
I think it would
Prices
depend
shot up.
on who else would play those characters. Because I mean, I really like Adam Driver. I really like the Kylo Ren character in Star Wars. But I really like Adam Driver anyway. You know, I've seen him in a few other things, and I like this. I like the serious side to him.
Yeah.
I like it when he's not, trying to fucking flip around and play the lightsaber. Like, I do enjoy his work. So
I love Adam Driver.
I was kind of invested in that, and obviously you got ScarJo as well. So.
So
But
that was a big part of it,
Well,
right?
yeah, but-
That's the thing. I
yeah.
think
Johansson was
that
going through a
acting
divorce
was incredible.
when they made it.
Really?
So yeah, so
I didn't know
I was this is the research, man. So I was really into
That's
it.
really, that's
Wow.
really
The director
interesting.
was
That
going
is
through a
interesting.
divorce. Had gone through a divorce. Laura Dern, who won the Oscar, she's just gone through a divorce. ScarJo was going through a divorce,
God, they've been through
and
that.
Driver's, I think his parents were divorced.
Oh,
So
there
they
you
all
go.
kind of like.
They
way-
kind of had some investment in
Yes.
it. Yeah.
And the
Makes
way
sense.
they do their I mean, you can kind of tell by watching it. The way they do their stuff is like it's very like workshopped and it's all about the characters and they
yeah.
help it.
I'll be honest though, I didn't think Laura Dern was spectacular in that.
So
film.
tell me, which character did she play?
So
Because I'm
she's
literally
a
She
lawyer.
was the lawyer. She
For,
was,
for Scarlett Johansson's
for Scarlett.
character.
She was a dick.
she was
I
a dick.
didn't like
She
her.
was the weird thing.
Yeah, no, you remember it.
There was not one
I
point
just remember-
where I thought you're being outstanding here. She had to be very very nice at the times, and then
Yeah.
she had to be super like in your face against Ray Liotta in the.
Ray Liotta was great in it.
And
Where's
he-
his, where's
he
his
was
supporting actor?
Super dislikable, right? So hateable.
Yeah, but that's what it's meant to be, like divorce.
Exactly.
he's-
exactly.
yeah, but he's
But
meant
at the
to have
same
that,
time,
yeah.
Laura Dern, I saw her in Little Women. She was incredible in that. Really,
Yeah.
really great. But I was like, what for that film? I
Yeah.
just couldn't believe it.
Well, it's a bit like if you compare it to like what it was up against, like ScarJo and Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah,
that breaks my
brilliant.
heart.
I
That
think
breaks
That
my
scene
heart.
where
that
she's
one upset me.
dancing and she does the thing with the. That was beautiful.
How good
It's
is that?
beautiful.
When
So
she's
good.
pretending to be her husband, who was clearly a drunkard.
Mm.
Oh man, she lit up the screen in that.
Yeah,
film.
I just kind of look at that and I'm like, right, so I've got this character who, to me, like I couldn't even tell you who she played in Marriage Story.
See, there you go.
She got the Oscar.
She got the Oscar.
Or you know, ScarJo's in Jojo Rabbit. Her character really resonated with me.
Do you know if Scarlett's
She's
ever
really
won
good.
an Oscar before?
No, she's been nominated a few times.
See, because I was about to
She-
say, I think Laura, it's almost like she's been in so much now, and she
Yeah.
is so like hardworking.
I think she's
like,
at the
tenacious.
age now where people are just like, Lord Durham, give us Lord Durham,
Give
give
it
us
to
Lord
Laura
Durham.
Dern. That's what it
And,
feels
like,
like. To
you know,
me.
younger
But
people,
Really,
like,
Scarlett Johansson's had an
so-
amazing year, an amazing few years.
I
in
mean,
fact.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson's not as young as some people I'm about to mention, but you get certain people like Saoirse Ronan and people like that. They're just
See,
like,
I'm a
oh, they'll
big
get their
fan.
time, they'll get their time at some point.
Yeah.
And things like that. But you know, Scarlett Johansson's been acting for like 20 odd years now.
She has.
Do you think
She-
she's?
she
Do
was
you
a
think
kid
she's got
and
too
stuff.
much stick from, oh, you're just a Marvel bimbo?
you
Yeah,
reckon?
maybe.
I think
made-
she's earned her respect
Because
over
she,
this
yeah, but
year.
because she's
certainly.
done so much of the Marvel stuff, so much of that kind of real big, blockbuster
Hard
cinema.
hitters, yeah.
They feel like, oh, well, you can't actually do that.
Mm.
Whereas,
It's a
if
good
you
point.
actually
wonder.
watch the movie,
Yeah.
especially that, like come on, like
Yeah.
she's dancing with her feet and everything.
So
like,
Yeah.
good. So
come
good.
on.
Jojo
It's one of my
Rabbit.
scenes of the year, man.
But Jojo Rabbit did win for best interpreted screenplay, right?
Adapted.
Adapted.
Interpreted. Yeah.
Starts miming. So best adapted.
I didn't even know it was based on a book. I just thought it was something that he was his
Yeah,
story.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
So
what he
that
did
was
with
up
it.
against. It was up against Joker.
What was it?
'Cause,
Okay.
they classed Joker as because like it's loosely based on
Right.
well,
Loosely based
three
on comic
different
books, yeah,
things.
yeah.
Okay.
So they classed that as adapted.
Mm.
Little Women, obviously.
Right. Yep.
I've been two that I probably can't remember now.
Okay.
But I mean, I think JoJo was the best. Also, I think with a comedy movie, but it doesn't really win anything else. So I think
Yeah.
generally, if you're gonna give it something, it generally all wins for scripts.
That makes
It's
a
quite-
lot
quite-
of sense.
quite
And
sharp.
The script was really like it was concise, and it was the way it changed so carefully, but also like quite jarringly from
Yeah.
really funny, really warm, and then suddenly so sort of like meaningful
Yeah.
and
Well, you've got one of the biggest, atrocities in human history. You kind of
Yeah.
have to be really, really careful the way that you
careful
deal
with it, and it
definitely.
did handle it very nicely. I think.
There's a bit in JoJo that always sticks out for me is when the bit with Stephen Merchant when they all come in and they're like, Hog Hitler, Hog Hitler, Hog Hitler for like 50 times.
Yeah.
And then but literally the scene after that is him running with the butterfly and then sees his mum shoots. Which is,
That's what it
and, like,
was. So we were trying to remember what just
it
happened
goes from like
before
that to
Yeah.
that.
That was
And I'm
it.
just like, that's the good script. Because like literally,
Yeah.
like, I was watching it with the girlfriend and then we were just like,
It literally gets
So
you.
quickly.
It knocked us both
Yeah.
back in the cinema, didn't it?
It's
We
done
were-
very well.
Oh gosh, yeah, amazing film, really good. And I'm just glad that Waititi actually he was able to
Yeah.
get something for that film because if it
100%
had gone on
his
those,
name correct.
thank you, we got it this time. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, well,
Well
'cause
deserved.
Taika also like he did an interview beforehand, and people were asking him like, "Oh, do you think you're now just a Marvel guy because you've done 4 and you're going to do another 4?"
Oh yeah,
And he was like, "Oh no, you do things in between."
yeah.
And he was like with the like
Like
Scorsese.
ScarJo, yeah.
Yeah. It all relates back, I think, especially with these Oscars, because Scorsese was there about his comments about not
Yeah.
cinema and stuff like that.
Cinema,
So obviously
yeah.
everyone was being asked like, "What do you think? What do you think of that little prick over there?" And obviously everyone's being polite because it's Martin Scorsese, but
Yeah.
like they're all just like, "Well, I'm gonna win an Oscar now, so fuck you, mate. I'll do 4, then I'll do 4 of the next 4." So.
Yeah.
So I finished watching The Irishman. And I've
Well,
gotta
3
say-
weeks.
Oh, I've got to
I
say,
do think he's been watching it for about a month now.
I had to do it in 2 sessions. I think a lot
Yeah.
of people probably did do it that way.
I think more than 2 sessions. I think I saw
Split
some
into
stuff
two.
online about how you could the best way to
Yeah,
split
it was
up.
divided it up, so you could almost watch it like a
Like it
series.
was, yeah, like it was
Yeah,
a
so it was like
Netflix
stop watching
show.
here, then like your age at
Oh,
certain
but
points.
there
it
was
worked
too
pretty well.
much not puff, but there was a lot of just slow moving scenes. Do you know? Shall we review this properly? We've all seen it.
We've all
right?
seen it.
So
Go for it, mate.
I thought that there was a lot of scenes where they're introducing other characters that have beef with other characters, almost to the point where you're like, who's got beef with who? You know that there's the main few characters,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of moving kind of nemesis, and then you kind of feel like at the same point, there's
Nemesis.
they, you know, it was bigged up for the CGI, like because it's got the anti.
Not by me, it wasn't. But yeah.
This is the thing. I think there were great things for the CGI. It was clever that they made Robert De Niro look younger. There was also terrible parts.
To be honest, what did they do? They made his eyes look bluer.
Bluer.
Yeah.
And they made his mole look
wrinkly.
deeper. They made his mole look so it's so deep on his
Especially at the start when he was looking really young, it reminded me of, you know, in Silence of the Lambs when Hannibal Lecter wears someone else's face. It's like that. I was like, that is not your face. It just looks weird.
It looks strange, yeah.
And the other thing that they can't change is these guys are still 70. So when he's beating someone up, he's still beating them
That's
up
what I was
like an
gonna
old
say.
man.
Exactly,
Weird
Tom.
kick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
exactly.
kick he goes. It's like
yeah.
it's so obviously old Robert De Niro who can hardly walk now. Bless him. Like, oh, it did not work.
So I didn't get why stuff like that. Like if you can do all this stuff, why can't you not get some fake legs? Like,
Or just get a stunt
man
in,
in, put his
come
face
on.
over the top of it.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was a bit.
I think it was also beautifully, like the set design was amazing.
Yeah.
Like it was in the same vein as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, actually, where it's so pretty to look at, but there's like not a lack of substance because there's so much you could like delve in deep. What's true about like the death of Kennedy, etc., and like these characters were real characters, but then again, how much of what they say is true? Like,
Do you feel that because we're in the UK and we don't like, I mean, who's Jimmy Hoffa to us? That maybe it doesn't resonate
It's
as
true,
well that we're.
but it
like,
is something everybody's interested in. Like the death
Yeah.
of Kennedy is seen as like this huge thing that happened, and then since then, like politics in general kind of changed. I think for towards that kind of more what do you call it, like reality TV style of politics. And I think I was interested in it, but they kind of almost missed the point with it. Like I wanted it to be super about that, I think, but yeah, with Hoffa, I think Al Pacino was dynamite in that film. Like every single scene he was in, you're like sold because he does this thing
I definitely agree.
with a single
Yeah,
look.
it was the MVP. I think.
Yeah, definitely. With a single look, you can tell exactly what he's thinking.
I think it was right that so him and Pesci both got nominated for supporting.
Did they?
Yeah, I think Pitt was right to win, to be honest. But Robert De Niro didn't even get nominated for best leading. And I think that's right.
I don't think he deserved
I mean,
it.
one thing that you said is like you don't really know. There's lots of different characters. And I think when you have a film that's based on that sort of long timeline, there will be people coming in and out.
True.
And when it was first coming out, there was a big thing. It was like Harvey Keitel's in his movie. He's in like one scene. And then like Ray Romano sort of flits in and out of it, and then a couple of other people do. But I think like the constants are the main three, and it's Pesci, De Niro, and Pacino.
Yeah.
And I think De Niro is the weakest out of those
Definitely. It's actually kind of
three.
strange.
It's not an insult because the other they're all good,
They're all
but the
good,
other two
yeah.
are like good.
But it is
Yeah.
it's kind of sad to see, like, you know, he was one of the
top
dons,
dogs,
and to kind of see him fall to where he's at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, he's in Joker as well. He's doing all right.
He did amazing.
Yeah,
Joker,
but
that's
can
true.
he kind of pick it back up? Can we get back to like him being at his best?
I'd say
think
it's too late.
yeah.
Is his age and career now?
Yeah.
I did
Well, you say
think-
that, but
yeah.
then when we watched, me and Stan watched Two Popes, and we were looking at
Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins,
Yes.
and he's
Fuck me. Yeah, he must be.
fucking old.
Oh,
He must
God.
be late 80s.
Surely.
But he
Surely.
was.
You can
I'm
see
sure
it.
he's. I'm sure.
There ain't no
he's-
CG in that.
No, but I'm sure he's putting when he's using the Zimmer frame and the cane. I'm sure he's putting that on because he looked like he could walk fine by himself.
Well,
but-
he was only in Westworld about like 2-3 years ago.
And
In
is,
the first
is there a
season,
lot of
but-
like he's physically acting in that?
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like
he's walking-
wheelchair
he's not-
bound
yeah,
or
he's
something.
not-
Right.
But no,
okay.
but just
Hoping it.
you know, I just mean like, you know,
Westworld.
you've got someone like Anthony Hopkins. Like I'd, you know, chuck a Hannibal Lecter mask on. I reckon he could still fucking scare the life out of me.
Yeah.
And then I look at I look at Robert De Niro in
Yeah.
Irishman. And I'm kind of like I just feel
Oh
a bit.
God, lie down,
I
Bobby.
just wanna lie down on his head. I just feel a bit.
I think in a big way it was a last hurrah to those guys. I really think
Yeah.
because
That's
you
what-
got the old team back together, and it's kind of sad.
But
to say
part of
that.
my issue with it was like, I mean, I don't get me wrong, I thought it was a really, really good movie, and I thought it was great, but Robert De Niro just doesn't scare me in that movie. Like, I don't find him
No.
silly fair. I find his bosses threatening, so I find when he meets Harvey
Yeah.
Keitel and Joe Pesci,
True.
I find like Joe Pesci is great in that. He's so intimidating.
Very
And Pesci, I mean, he hasn't done a movie in God knows how many years. And like he just came back and he was straight away. He was just Joe Pesci. Again.
Unlike
He knows. He
Unlike,
knows.
He knows how to be an
what's his face
interrogating
in,
little shit.
Bad Boys. What am I thinking? What's his name? Martin Lawrence. Unlike him, Martin Lawrence took a big break and now he's come back and is like, oh, you don't remember how to act.
Whoa,
Have you just
whoa.
compared
have you,
Martin-
have you seen Bad Boys?
No.
Have you seen Bad Boys 2?
You ain't seen Bad Boys?
Have you not seen Bad Boys 3?
New. How about new?
So one that we really haven't picked up on, which is really, really fucking bad.
What?
Best Actress.
Oh, none of us have seen it, have we?
Exactly. So,
Judy. See,
I mean-
she won the BAFTA and she won the Oscar. It's got to be
kind
something.
of we kind of guessed this after. So obviously, usually BAFTA's a bit of a prelude to what you're going to get at the Oscars.
Yeah.
And yeah, we kind of looked at that and we were like, should we watch this Judy film?
The thing is, when it came out, it didn't really get great reviews. And it got the reviews of people going, she's great in it. Movie.
Really? Okay.
These sorts of movies always do well with the Oscars because, I mean, a lot of people at the Oscars are like really old people. So they remember who Judy Garland was.
Right.
So they're just
Good
like
point.
remembering like Tinseltown, the great days. So it kind of, they get a lot of votes for stuff like that. I mean she's probably.
I mean, we
as good
saw
in it.
Rami Malek do it last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, I personally don't think he pulled off a good Freddie Mercury because you look at him compared to Freddie and there's like a lack of character. But at the same time, he was able to really like give everything to the role. That's what they always say. He gave everything to this role. It's like, yeah, but at the same time, was it like that good? Is it that amazing?
The thing that I find
I don't
strange
think so.
about it is that it seems to be, this is why I really like Joaquin Phoenix, is that more often than not these days, the best actor and best actress goes to someone who's playing someone else. Because then you've got a benchmark.
Exactly.
Because when you've got like, oh, they're doing a good
Yeah.
Garland or they're doing a good Mercury. Or they're doing a
Exactly,
good this and
that's
that.
the point,
And
yeah.
you don't really get it these days for someone doing like an original character.
Yeah.
Like best supporting, we'll do it because best supporting is just like, hey man, it's just a cool guy. It's Brad
Yeah,
Pitt.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right.
But like
You
with
can't-
someone with like the leads, they want someone to be like, oh yeah, perfect impression, perfect,
Yes,
spot on.
that's so
And
true.
that, you know, there's impersonating and there's acting,
Yep.
and I much prefer it. And I don't know, I haven't seen the movie, so
So
it's,
do any of us know what this Judy movie is actually about?
Judy
Judy
Garland.
Is it what, Life and Times
yeah,
or what?
classic biopic, I'm guessing.
I'm imagining so, yeah.
I mean,
Life
I
story,
just-
yeah.
I don't know. I kind of
I don't even know who else was nominated
what for
for
best
for
actress.
female lead.
So you
What's
had,
Saoirse Ronan? Because I thought she was.
Saoirse Ronan was nominated, yeah.
Good. So
Yeah, you
I'm
had-
glad
so
she at
she-
least got
so
So
Yeah,
for
her-
nominated.
fourth nomination, 25 years old. She hasn't won yet, but you know,
Gosh.
She's
Just-
clearly going.
That's-
yeah, she's clearly going
Amazing.
to. Unless she'll be like 50, they'll be like, at
Ooh,
some point, at some
do you know
point.
what
Yeah,
I
at some
saw?
point soon you'll get
At some
one.
point. So you're so young. So
Do you know what I saw? I saw that in Ladybird, which just came out on Netflix.
yeah, she's nominated for that.
She was nominated for that, and
Yeah.
also it's the same director.
Yeah,
as
Greta
Little
Gerwig,
Women,
Greta Gerwig.
and the same.
He's married to the guy
leading-
from Marriage Story.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, same leading
So-
actor.
It all spins around, and it's Timothy Chalamet in both of them as well.
Is it? I didn't know that. There we go.
The other ones you had for best actress, you had Cynthia Everett for Harriet.
Yeah, they made a quite a good joke about that because she was the only black nominee.
Oh
And,
really?
so you know they don't do
Was
hosts.
she
any-
literally the
they
only
don't-
black
yeah,
nominee?
well,
Oh.
and in the acting,
What, in every-
in acting.
Yeah, but what in both?
Yeah, male,
and
female,
Ah,
supporting,
female,
and
that's-
main.
Doesn't look good,
So
does
out of 8, I think it was 5
Can't
each,
believe
or
Will
20.
Smith, can't believe Will
So out
Smith
of
didn't get
20.
his one. For,
Again.
for Bad Boys, come on.
Or Martin Lawrence, the best supporting.
Martin Lawrence, come on, where was his nomination?
What about Genie? Come on. he's
Will
wasted
Smith
his
was
Genie.
Blew out the water, mate.
Didn't even get best visual effects.
No.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, so
Yeah.
so we didn't do hosts again. So Chris Rock came out with Steve Martin,
Uh huh.
and then what did Chris Rock say? He was oh yeah, because basically the film that she's in, Cynthia Erivo, is about like hiding black people during the war. And she was like, she's so good at it that we hid all the black people from the nominations. Tell me, Cynthia, is Eddie Murphy under here? That's
So
quite good.
amazing.
Brilliant.
What a line.
So
They
you
got
also
slated.
had ScarJo for Marriage Story.
Right.
So
Cool.
she got a nod for best actress
And best supporting.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Obviously you had the bird from Little Women, and then you had Charlie Theron
Oh, for Bombshell.
For Bombshell.
for Bombshell. Yeah,
Was she good in that?
she's all right.
She's alright.
Yeah.
She's all
Nothing
right. It was
special?
I think
She looks completely different. I mean, I saw
Oh,
the trailer.
but again,
She-
she's doing an impression of
Yeah,
someone.
she's doing an impression, yeah.
Yes.
she.
Okay.
I think
Well, she looks really like I've seen like just pictures.
Yeah, yeah. If you look at them side by side, she does look
Really?
a bit of this news anchor.
Oh.
I'm not sure because
She probably thought she had it nailed on for the physical.
yeah,
Do you want to tell us a little bit about Bombshell? And like,
Yeah, please.
Sure, go for it. Neither of you.
we haven't seen it. I want to.
I probably won't until it comes out on streaming now. I
Let's
don't
do
think it's
it.
going to be in
Yeah.
cinema.
Where do we begin? So the backstory
Uh-huh.
is obviously it's all about this whole Me Too movement from I think it was 2015, 2016.
Sounds about right.
So the Fox, I think he was CEO or something like that, kind of got outed, got some form of case put against him,
Right.
and went on for a while. And you had one of the main news anchors of Fox News kind of turn around and be like, yeah, that happened to me as well. So I think you had two leading ladies that were doing the news in America at the time.
Yeah.
Turn around and be like, yeah, this guy from this massive company, made kind of sexual advances towards me, in offer of.
But it wasn't like a Weinstein thing where it's like straight assault.
No, so it was more, so it was more a case of if you do this, I will be able to further your career. I'll be able to pay you more money.
Okay.
I'll be able to do this.
Right.
And yeah, in the movie, it's fucking fair play to what was it, John Lithgow?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he plays the perv.
Yeah,
John Lithgow's a great actor.
Yeah, but he.
I thought you were going to say John Lithgow's a great person.
But I had to
he
think
does-
someone.
at the end of the day, it's a really hard,
Subject matter.
It's a really hard.
It's a hard role
subject
for him
matter.
to do as well.
Yeah, and he
Raw,
does
yeah.
it. To say he does it well is, it's kind of a bit. It sounds a bit.
He's a good creep.
But yeah, he looks, he looks the part. He looks creepy. So yeah, so
No mention
that's,
for him in any sort of awards.
yeah, that's kind of the backstory. Well, would you? Can you applaud that
Oh, that's
performance?
so true. Would you?
Can you? Yeah, but.
I'm trying to think of examples. I don't have anything, but
Or
Yeah, but
It's gotta be.
if someone can win an Oscar for like a serial killer,
yeah,
sure they
this
can
is
win
the
an
thing,
Oscar
right?
for being a sexual.
well, would
predator.
they have given it for Taika for
For Hitler? And the winner is Hitler. The crowd goes
Yeah,
wild.
would you like? I don't know. Could you give it for something like that? But so that's kind of the basis of it, and then the story picks up with you're heading around with Nicole Kidman,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
and she's kind of the one that's taking lead of the whole big court case thing.
Right.
And I think you first kind of hear about it when she's talking to, I think it must be lawyers or something like that. And
Okay.
she's like, you know what, I'm gonna keep this on the DL for now, but I'm thinking about fucking over my boss.
Yeah.
Can you kind of help me do that? And she's kind of teetering around. She's not sure what to do, and then she finally goes public with it. No one wants to support her because obviously all of the female cast are kind of like, well, if this girl's gonna go out with this massive, if she's gonna go public with this massive story, she's fucked. She's out of her
Scary,
career. She's
yeah.
out of her job. No one's gonna have her anymore. We don't want to be in that same position, which is a scary place to be.
course,
I completely understand that. And so you spend quite a lot of the movie with the other girls that are working for Fox. Kind of, they're not unsure what to do, and it's just kind of, I guess it's all the females kind of having the strength and the empowerment to actually be like, you know what, fuck this shit, it's not real.
Stand up for ourselves.
And in the
yeah.
end, by the end of the movie, I think you've probably got about one or two females that are still trying to kind of support this Roger Ailes character,
Yeah.
and
They're all coming around.
yeah, they're all kind of coming
Well,
around and be
so-
like, you know
'cause-
what, fuck that.
I don't know how, because I didn't really follow the case when it happened. But is there like a resounding ending for them, or is it just like? I mean, don't spoil. But
That is the spoiler.
do
though.
people get? Do people? Okay, let's have to leave it.
I can, it's
Go on,
at the
yeah.
end of the,
Why
of the day, it's like a
It's a true story. We can check
it's
out
a
what
true
happened.
story.
Exactly,
Like, you can check
exactly.
out what's happened anyway. So,
Spoiler alert.
yeah, spoiler alert. So by the end of the movie, that it gets found out
Yeah.
to be true. It's kind of so the way that they do it in the movie. I'm not sure whether this happened in real life or not. The way that the way that they depict it in the movie is Rupert Murdoch finds out. And he's actually in the movie.
What, actual Rupert Murdoch?
Actual
What, plays
Rupert
himself?
How
Plays
crazy
himself.
is that?
Why would
This
you? Why would you?
Right, so this
How
yeah,
fucking
this
crazy
is what
is
this
that?
is what I don't quite
Something that's
understand.
openly slating him.
Yeah, someone in my mind, they're slating him, they're slating his company, they're slating his
Yeah.
practices, and he's happy to be in the movie. I didn't.
That's literally like. I mean, it's not the same, but like, imagine like Weinstein being like, yeah, don't worry, man, I'll do that cameo.
Exactly.
Or even Trump being in something like being, grabbed by the pussy.
Trump would
I don't know.
definitely
Yeah,
say
he
yes
would.
to that. But
this
someone pointed this out to me. They were like, he loves his money. If they offered him any sort of money, he would be just
So-
Rupert Murdoch. Yes.
This is the funny thing. It ticks a lot of boxes. When you're talking about American politics, and definitely it's a massive zeitgeist for the last 5 years of
Yeah.
American politics.
Yeah.
Because the story picks up with Megyn Kelly.
Okay.
So she's like a massive Fox girl.
She's a massive fox.
You're part of the problem, man.
She's a massive Fox girl. She's a massive news. She's a massive news anchor for Fox.
Yeah.
And the story picks up, and it starts with her trying to speak to Trump because it picks up around the election campaign.
Does it? And
so
this is real footage, is it?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's actually crossed between real footage and not real footage.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, Trump's not. He hasn't got his credits on the movie. I'm sure he probably would have signed off at some point for his likeness to be in there. But they've got some real footage in there, and I guess it just kind of goes from there. So she gets outed by Trump. I believe this is a real story. She gets outed by Trump for saying, asking him some hard questions in the political debate, and then she gets ousted on Twitter by him, which is so Trump.
That's so
Yeah.
Trump. That's where he handles everything.
And then the story kind of picks up from there, and then you kind of go over to the
And Megyn Kelly's played by Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
Okay.
then the story kind of bleeds into Nicole Kidman, her character, and kind of what she's trying to do with Roger, one of the two, Art Ailes. And her trying to sort of oust him and show that he's this big male chauvinistic pig.
Okay.
And then Margot Robbie's character, who I believe she's not.
She's like an amalgamation of like loads of different.
Yeah, so her character's sort of been made up for the story.
Okay.
But I believe it's kind of the way that her experience goes in the movie is kind of what a lot of girls had sort of said had happened to them, and it's a really, really tough scene, and
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, is it quite done?
there's only one for me. There's one really, really tough scene, and Margot Robbie, she's only just started, so you're following with her. She's only just started the job. She's trying to get ahead, and she wants to be behind the camera, but she's kind of stuck in a bit of like an intern job, and she's not doing what she wants to. She wants to be in front of the camera. She wants to be reporting and everything.
Right.
And she heads up to the I think it's the 7th floor or something like that to go see the important bosses. She ends up getting a meeting with Mr. Ailes. She goes into the office. She has a bit of a chat with him and stuff like that. And sort of midway, she's kind of mid-sentence trying to sell herself to him. I should be there. I should be reporting your news and everything. I'm this. I'm that. Blah blah blah. And he just kind of turns around and he says to her like, "Stand up for a minute." And she's like, "What?" She's a bit confused. He gets her to stand up.
Does this lift go?
Yeah. And he turns around and he's like, "Oh, can you just twirl around for me?" And she obviously gives him a bit of a funny look.
Yeah,
she's
like,
not. Yeah, she's a bit
what?
unsure. And he's like, "Oh, this is a what does he say? This is a visual media. Like, it's a visual medium. I need to, so we need to see sort of what we're dealing with."
Right.
The way that he says it, and the look that she gives him, and she plays, both of them in this scene play really well.
Yeah.
He plays a seedy cunt, and she plays, she's really fucking scared.
Yeah.
And there's no he doesn't go near her, he doesn't touch her, but it's just more of a case of it's a really harrowing scene, and you're just kind of watching it. And
That shows
It's
a
not-
good acting when
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There's no
crawling.
physical
but yeah,
contact.
she can. You can tell after that. Before he mentions that or says anything like that, she's sat closer to him. She's really trying to sell herself. She's really talkative and she's really going for it. And then after that, she spins round. I think he asks her to hitch up her skirt a little bit. And he's being really obviously super pervy.
The skin's
Then she
crawling at
goes,
this point.
She goes and sits down, and she sits literally as far away as she can from him.
Yeah.
And she's trying to hold back tears to get through the rest of the meeting.
Crazy.
And yeah, just so for something like that, that's why I say it's a bit hard. I couldn't really imagine you giving an Oscar nom or a nod to
Someone playing
for
something like
that.
that.
It seems like quite a harrowing scene.
God.
But yeah, so once you get through that, I think that's about 3/4 of the way through the movie.
Yeah.
By the end of the movie, this guy's being left, right, and centre, getting the finger pointed at him.
Taken to court.
I don't think it. you don't see anything go to court.
Oh right, okay.
But kind of Rupert Murdoch and his sons find out. So apparently his sons have got a big sort of delve in with his companies as well.
And then the older he gets, they sort of get more involved.
Yeah.
see.
So
Makes
he kind of speaks to his sons and he says to his sons like, you need to fucking find out what's going on because you know I'm not having all this shit getting plastered all over the news about us.
So is he made out to be like he cares about what's happening, or more just like let's not get News Corp and shit?
See, this is the thing. Once again, I don't quite. For me, he just kind of seemed like a bit of a like. It just seems like, well, this guy's going to get some bad press. We need to get rid of him. That's kind of my view on it. So once again, I don't.
Maybe it just goes all above his head, and he's just like, yeah, I look great in this movie. I'm saving the day.
Surely he's not that fucking stupid.
Sure,
Yeah,
that's the thing.
like I say, like he's a billionaire, like you know, Tyson's like
Mad. Maybe,
But yeah,
maybe
so-
he thought it's time to get my image out there more. Yeah.
Knows. But yeah, so by the end of the movie,
Yeah.
he sits down with the accused Ailes, and he just kind of says to him, you know, what the fuck, what are we gonna do about this?
Yeah.
And he ends up sort of severing his ties with him, and he offers to pay out the rest of his contract. The guy begrudgingly accepts, and then Rupert Murdoch turns around to him and is like, right, so I'm going to go into the newsroom and sort of obviously explain what's happened.
Yeah.
And Roger or Robert, whatever the fuck his name is, turns around and he says to him, do you mind if I come with you? You obviously, they're my team. I've been working with them for X amount of years, blah, blah, blah. You know, I think we should do this together. Let's tell everyone together. And Rupert Murdoch's just like, nope. So you can obviously tell that he's just trying to stay as far away from that kind of bad
Now
news
that
as
sounds
possible.
about right. Yeah.
But the big sort of takeaway that they give you is, you know, it's true with all sort of true event movies, is you get the black and white writing right at the end. It will give you a couple of facts to kind of leave you on, and the fact that they left you on with this movie was there were two main guys that were accused that were CEOs or something like that within Fox News. They got their contracts cut and, you know, severed their ties with the company and stuff like that, and they got paid a payout that was, I don't know, let's say $40 million.
40 million.
It was around that mark.
they got millions of pounds.
They got millions of pounds for doing this and having their contracts cut by the company they work for. Then I believe it was 20 women that, you know, had these allegations that brought, you know, and they brought them to light. They got 30 million. Between them.
Oh,
they got
so
30 million.
sad.
So if you look at that, that's fucking
Shows
ridiculous. So these guys have, you know, they've really put some people through the ringer.
Yeah.
You know, this was going on. This came out in 2016. The Fox News and the way that they do things has been going on for decades and decades and decades.
Paying these guys.
And they're paying these guys off 40 million.
God.
And these poor girls have had this stuff happen to them.
Yeah.
And this is only ones that have come out and said, this
this
happened to me. I believe it was about 16 to 20 girls that came out and said that happened to them, and they got less than what the guys that did
Absolutely.
it got.
Awful.
Madness.
It's very relevant to like nowadays.
It makes you think about how like Charlize Theron and Margot were both nominated, but I can see why they didn't win. Because there must have been guys watching that and you know, these big producers in Hollywood being like, "Fuck you, you are not going to get my vote. You are not going to get my vote."
So just to clarify, those three: Nicole Kidman, Margot Robbie, and
Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron. They were all
Nicole
accusing.
Kidman.
Oh no, they were all accusing that guy. They were all in the same kind of.
Yeah, so I think
reporting role.
The two main ones. So Charlize Theron and Nicole Kidman play they're real big time news anchors within Fox. So when they came out and said it,
that's when
it was a big deal. And then that's when it's like you said, it suddenly became a story. But then you had Margot Robbie's character. She was kind of an intern, so
she was just starting.
She was only just starting. So when she came out and she kind of gave the nod of it happened to me too.
Well,
that was like
because I haven't seen it, but I read a few reviews, and then people were saying that the Margot Robbie character is basically meant to represent like 6 different people that sort of came out and supported it. But obviously, you can't have everyone doing it in a movie.
Got you.
So she's like.
I feel like you said something really interesting about it, that they show you kind of get guided around one building, and all of the news is coming out of one building.
Yeah, so they do quite a lot of breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, do
talking
they?
to
Okay,
camera,
I love
yeah.
that.
They do quite a few sort of scenes like that, and one of the scenes you see is Charlie Theron giving you a tour of the Fox building of the news, and she's taking you around one floor, and this is where the news takes place. This is that, and then she takes you over to this statue or something like that of the whole sort of Fox block. And she takes you to it, and she's like, right, so this is where Fox News is, and that kind of lights up on one floor. And then she says, this is where the Wall Street Journal is, and it flashes up on another floor. And she takes you through so many different news outlets. And it's all in the
And
same.
suddenly you realise that all these news
it's all in the
things are
same
just in
fucking
one building.
God.
Like, and it is ridiculous
It's
to think
crazy.
like all of these conservatives are literally
Literally
all of this news is
Yeah.
pumping out of one fucking building. And
the same
if I
people.
was American and I was to actually go and watch this movie, I would want to know a bit more about the media that I'm consuming because it is really
I
interesting.
really hope that's what it does. I really hope Americans
I don't
become a
know.
bit more
I don't know.
aware.
I think, like I said, I think it might be different in America where it's more relevant. But
Well,
it
exactly.
strikes me in America that if they know about it already, they know about it. And if they don't, they're probably not going to watch a movie called Bombshell, which is about selling
that's
these sorts
so
of people.
true.
Well, I don't
There's a
know.
lot
I
of
was kind of
passive
the only
watchers
reason I
over there.
wanted to is I looked at I saw the cast and I saw like a 30-second teaser trailer where you just see them walking towards a lift and they all kind of get in the lift. It's silent. They don't say anything and they just all look at one another. And you do see that scene in the movie, and I was just kind of like, good cast. I'm a bit interested. Where are we going? And then I actually watched it, and I read a little bit up, and then I watched it, and I was like, well, it's actually it's a big sort of empowering story.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, it's really 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 interesting stuff. I definitely you should give it a watch.
And it's saying something that even moved Nathan.
When it gets on streaming, I think I'll watch it. I mean, do you think Margot Robbie should have won Best Supporting?
Me.
Well, more than Laura Dern, you didn't even know who she was.
Yeah. Well, no, I would have gone for Scarlett. Yeah.
ScarJo every day.
I'd
yeah,
have gone for
I think we're all
ScarJo just
on
for
the same page.
Jojo Rabbit. I thought that was fucking brilliant.
such a great
I'm
film.
so surprised. She got Best Supporting and she got Best Actress. She didn't win either. I'm very.
Oh, did the lad from 1917, was he nominated for anything?
No.
Did they get
They got no acting.
no acting? Okay, but they must have had Best Director was nominated.
Yeah, Best Director, Best Picture, and then all the visual, the sound. I mean, it won a couple for sound. I think war movies always win for sound. So
Yeah,
it
I
was
think
for
it's
sound.
because
impressive.
the other one with that was the Ford Ferrari film.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
really?
one Best Editing.
Have you seen that?
So I was
No, I haven't. I was away for it. It wasn't
I need
a
to
play.
see that.
I was quite surprised with the sounds because obviously you've got war movies which tend to do well
Tends
with
to
the
do well.
sound,
Yeah.
and then you've also got a motor movie and they kind of tend to do quite well
Yeah.
with sound stuff. So I reckon it was probably a bit of a toss up between those two. To be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, so you guys haven't seen 1917, have you?
No, go for it, Tom.
So, I was really looking forward to this. So I saw like a kind of snippet of how they were going to do this, a featurette, and it was showing that they were going to do all externals that were just moving through, and they were going to do it that one shot style, and I thought, oh, I know what you're doing here. This is going to be a Call of Duty like film.
Yeah.
And I always used to play those games, the early Call of Duty games. And I thought, why do they not do films like this? Because it's all
Really
it is.
tough to shoot.
Well, this is it, exactly. That's the main thing. But there was like always a very small snippet of like dialogue, like this is the mission, get out there, and then it would be straight into this like huge scenario, and you kind of get like you get immersed in the characters as well during those levels, because they would have like certain phrases, etc., and they tell you a little bit about them, like just dropped through nicely, like subtly. And with 1917, it was everything I wanted it to be in that sense. It really was like going through, feeling like you are in a computer game almost. You're one of those characters. You're going through World War One, and it was so impressive to watch, dude. Like honestly.
So what's the basic plot?
So the basic plot.
It seems like Saving Private Ryan to me when I saw the
It
trailer.
was very simple. The only thing, my main criticism of this is they should really have started by going, like, just a bit more background to both the characters, so you know what they're doing. Because they basically, you're sat there. It's quite late in World War One, so they've already had the song. they're kind of thinking, when is this goddamn thing going to be over? And then
So just kind of get chucked.
You get chucked straight into it. They're chilling out. This is the first scene.
Yeah.
The two guys, the one that gets the orders, he goes like something like, pick a man and then get yourself to the general's tent. And then he just grabs the guy next to him, who's a mate of his. They go straight to see Colin Firth, who says, "This is the thing. There's a barricade. What do you call it? No. Where you've got like a bunch of troops, and it's on the French coast. Not the French coast, sorry. It's past the front line, and they've got to get to this little town in order to give them this news. Otherwise, there's going to be an ambush. So basically, Benedict Cumberbatch, who you see is the general of this attack, they're going to go and attack the Nazis, thinking that there's hardly one there. But there's loads of Nazis there. They're all going to get wiped out. They've got their new weapons grades, like ammunition and everything. So they've got to get there within one night, and that's the synopsis. So then you get these little like really really well done cameos, like in a Call of Duty game, where you've got Mark Strong is in it as well. You've also got I can never remember his name, but it was Moriarty in Sherlock the series.
Oh, Adam Scott.
That's the one.
Andrew Scott.
He's got a brilliant little cameo in this. He plays one of those guys that's just kind of so done with this, like
He's a good actor, man. He's underrated.
Absolutely great little cameo. A couple of others as well, but just like these really big British names, Benedict Cumberbatch, as I said. And then you've got these two guys. The only thing is, they go through these incredibly like life-changing events, and then they kind of just, because the film's got to get on with it.
Yeah.
So they can't stick around. Like in real life, you'd probably be there like absolutely like speechless for a while and trying to recover.
Let's just move on.
They just have to keep going. And then they've got to also, that's the thing, they've also got to give you a little background, and they've got to get you to like these characters while all this is happening.
So there's not really too much like lingering on one point.
Exactly. There's no lingering. That's the thing.
How we were talking about like Jojo Rabbit, when you see that the Scarlett Johansson's dead, and they really really linger.
And it needs
so there's no lingering around there. You kind of, it goes along with the process of you're like, right, we need to fucking keep moving. This guy's dead. Fuck that. We need to keep going.
Exactly.
You don't even have the bits in like, because you say they have to do it in one night. You don't even have like the campfire bit where everyone's like bonding. There's none of that stuff where they're sharing war stories.
If only. And actually, do you know what? That would have been a perfect little scene. Just having like a few of them, like I don't know, just there for a couple of hours or something. But no,
so
it's
do,
all
like,
just
many flashbacks or anything like that. Or
no flashbacks. So it
flashbacks.
Really is.
So it's literally
when they
just
say
story.
You're in it.
When they say it's meant to be one shot, it really is. The whole film looks like it's in one shot. Like there is no point where there's any sort of like cutaways or like great big landscape shots.
Surely there must be bits, because if it's in one night, like you weren't in the cinema for 12 hours.
This is something that happened. Okay, little spoiler because I don't think it ruins anything for you, but there's a bit where I was kind of like, how are they going to play this? Because you're not going to sit there in the cinema. So he passes out. There's a bit where he gets knocked out by an
and suddenly it's
9 hours down.
Yeah.
Oh, we've only got an hour left.
We're nearly there.
Exactly. It's like, oh shit, now I have 2 hours, and you're kind of thinking you could have done this a lot better.
I don't know. I think that's quite a cute little device.
They had to, didn't they? They had to do something. They also couldn't have done it all in one shot anyway. So.
I mean, you look back at like other movies that were tempted to do all the one shots, like Birdman's one that always springs to my mind, and they used to do things that would go up in the air and it would come down.
How great was that film? I love
that
film.
You have to give it a bit of a pass and be like, if it was all in one shot, it'd be shit. It just wouldn't work. You have to have these little breaks.
And it was really interesting, the featurette, just seeing Sam Mendes talk through like the trials that they went through in order to get this film. Like, just like there'll be, because it all had to look kind of that grayscale, they had to just wait for those moments. There'll be like some sunshine, and then they have to be like, all right, we'll wait, go, and then the bombs going off and everything. There's some incredible sort of like Saving Private Ryan style scenes. They are like, you see them in the trailer, don't you? Like it blows you away.
The trailer I thought was brilliant.
Absolutely,
fantastic. The whole bit, at the end of it, that whole like 1917, it's just running. It's
amazing. That actor, the lead actor,
George McKay,
really, really great. The weird thing is, like,
he's been on and off for ages now. I think he's finally got his break.
Has he? So what has he been in?
So
I seen him?
I first saw him in a film called Captain Fantastic, which is a Viggo Mortensen. He was kind of like a kid growing up. and then
Yeah,
he's done a few other things, like all like little like indie movies,
Right.
and then hasn't really had like a couple of TV shows that
This
haven't
is
really
his
got off
big
the
break
ground.
then.
So he's not done sort of anything that's been real.
Nothing that's really hit like hard. Like Captain Fantastic got like Oscar nom for Vigo, but like he got nothing from it.
Yeah.
So he's never really had. He's always been part of either an ensemble.
Mm.
Or he's got.
See.
He's quite babyish anyway.
He
But I think.
can't- yeah.
I think he's quite old. I think he's like nearly 30 now. Anyway.
Is he really?
Yeah, but he's still. But he's got that look of someone who's like 22.
He does.
So
Yeah.
he doesn't really get the
He has,
leading man.
do you know what he does
leading
really
man
well? He
roles.
does that like British, like strong British accent so well. And his friend is a bit weaker. I've seen his
Don't know who
the
the friend is.
supporting actor. I can't remember what his name is, but he is in one film. You know, recently there was a film with an Indian family living in Croydon, and he gets obsessed with Springsteen. It's all about Springsteen's songs. He was in that as like the lead singer
I
of
do
the band.
remember being.
Do you remember?
talked-
You
I
know
know
what
being
I'm
talked
talking-
about.
I
haven't
just
I?
don't know what the song was
I
called,
thought
but yeah.
you were going to go into Yesterday, to be honest.
Was it yesterday? It was a very similar
It was-
idea
it was
when you
one
think
of-
about
yeah,
it.
but that's really, really weird when you think about it, because you had all those kind of films come out
Yeah.
like around the same time.
It is
didn't
strange,
you?
isn't it? I wonder when they're going to get a Beatles biopic. That's got to be on the card somewhere, isn't it?
It'll be done, if it is, it'll be done by Dexter Fletcher.
You reckon?
He's
Who
just
did
a
Dexter
baseball
Fletcher
player.
do?
Dexter Fletcher did Rocket Man, and he's the
Right.
guy that got brought on for Bohemian Rhapsody after they fired the other guy.
Well, there you go.
I loved
It's
Rocket
interesting.
Man.
Did
Yeah,
those
Rocket Man
two.
should have got more love this year. Should've got more
Totally
love.
agreed. I
I
totally
agree.
agree.
Elton
That
John,
was a-
Elton John won best song, but I don't think it was.
Oh, that's
it
nice.
wasn't really up for. There wasn't much else.
That's a shame. I really think Rocket Man. I think Taron Egerton was.
Yeah,
He
I thought
blew
he
it out
was-
of the
He was
water.
class.
You couldn't
I
have
think
done
that
any
first,
better.
that first scene when he walks into the was it
Oh, to the rehab.
Yeah, the rehab.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's got his.
Yeah, he's got the massive
Oh,
costume on.
amazing! I love the way they did the timeline in that film. I think the way it
Yeah.
like bounced around,
Yeah.
not like convoluted or anything. It was really, really.
It wasn't
Look-
too much.
No.
It kind of kept you sort of
Yeah.
in the loop.
The
didn't
main problem with those films was the fact that with Bohemian Rhapsody, it felt like they were kind of like here's a soft version. Of what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, yeah.
And then
Exactly. We
with,
barely discussed the,
Yeah.
age. It's like he was just a lovely guy, Freddie. It was
Just
like-
always
Hey,
perfect.
Well, I
was it-
think that's the difference between people. Well, you know, I say people that are dead and people that aren't.
Mm.
But you know, obviously the guys of Queen are still alive. They're still with us.
that was
They
the
don't
difference.
want their life kind of
Definitely.
painted out.
Yeah,
But Elton John was
exactly.
there like
But
tell
also-
everything.
Elton John clearly doesn't
doesn't give a
shit.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just kind of like, you know what, I want to tell it all. You know,
But also, I think because Freddie Mercury's dead, I think like his widow family, whoever is in charge of that, are going to be like, oh come on, make him look good.
This is the thing.
I mean, there was the big thing when this year or last year in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where they all kicked off about Bruce Lee.
yeah.
Because they made
There was
him
a
out to
big-
be an
yeah.
absolute dick.
Yes,
Yeah.
And then
there
his
was a big thing
family
about
were like
that,
kicking
yeah.
off, and then Tarantino was like, well,
It's too late. It's too late now.
That's what everyone says about him. Sorry.
Oh dear, that was such a funny scene. Oh, do you know what I was going to say? We should maybe like talk a bit about Margot Robbie because she's had a really big year, hasn't she? She's been in some good films. She was underused, I thought, in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
She was nominated for a BAFTA in it, and in Bombshell. She was nominated for 2,
Really?
but she was nominated in supporting actress. This is why, because BAFTAs was even more. BAFTA was so white.
I
in Oscars.
see. Yeah.
So she was nominated twice for supporting actress. And in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, she's probably got about 20 lines, maybe.
Yeah, I kind of thought
underused.
Yeah, she was.
Well, I think it's quite good. I think she kind of like just flows through the movie, and like
Yeah, maybe
the
it's
movie's
supposed to
about
be,
those
like-
guys.
Yeah, maybe she's just supposed to be one of those people that you kind of just like immersing yourself into the.
But then don't have one of these massive name actresses
Yeah.
in that pot.
Yeah, I agree with
if
that.
you don't want me to pay attention to her character and she's just
Yeah.
kind of someone that's just gonna kind of be there throughout the movie,
Yeah,
don't have Margot Robbie.
exactly. One of the girls at work said she was just looking pretty in that
Yeah,
film.
have Emma Stone. Have someone.
Yeah.
Have someone.
Have Oscar-winning Emma Stone.
No, but in my mind, she's kind of out of the public view. In the last in the last year or so.
Have someone up and coming who like
Exactly.
gives someone
I
a
was gonna
chance
say
to
the
like
same.
kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Make
just
it work.
have someone, have someone
unfamiliar.
that
I
I'm
would
familiar with.
Yeah.
But it's Tarantino. He picks what he wants. And doesn't
Yeah.
Fair play.
And the thing is, Margot Robbie was never going to take notes of that. You would see the cast and go, well, yes, definitely.
Would you make the foot
Tarantino.
fetish?
I mean, I think now he just knows that it's just funny, and he's just like, I'll do as much as I
Maybe
want.
it's just like
Really plays
owning
much
it.
as
He
I
just
want.
owns it, doesn't
It's
he?
the bit where the girl gets in Brad Pitt's car and she leans back and she's got like hairy armpits, and then like, she puts her foot up, and it's a good few minutes of just her feet
a lot
up
of
and they're
feet
chatting
there.
to each
Yeah,
other.
it's a bit weird.
I think he got Brad Pitt won one of the awards he's won for it, not the Oscar. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I just want to thank these people like Leo, Quentin, Margot Robbie, Margot Robbie's feet, like, this girl's feet."
That's amazing.
And then he was like, "Oh, Quentin's done like more for girls' feet than Adidas or something." Like that.
I did think there was a little bit of Tarantino maybe like sticking up for the allegations that have been coming.
Well, the Weinstein stuff.
Yeah,
Well, it does look
including
quite bad on him.
It does, and there's also that quote which he said something like, that was just one of those 15-year-old party girls.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, dude, don't
Look.
say it like that. But I also imagine he's trying to say that was what happened then. That was the time, and there was some girls that, you know, they were at these bars and they just wanted to meet someone famous, and whatever happened.
I mean, Tarantino has just made a movie about, you know, Roman Polanski, who's essentially a convict, like, rapist on the run, and he's done stuff with Harvey Weinstein. I mean, there's lots of rumours. Like, there was a big thing about him and Uma Thurman. I don't know if you saw that about
when
Kill Bill 2.
When she
crashed a car.
Did she have a car crash?
And so he released footage about it.
That was it.
And it's basically like when he made her do this stunt herself.
Yeah.
And there's footage because basically the camera's on the back of the car. And it's just her just going like, I think just going off the road and like smashing like herself, and then just goes like limp.
God.
And then, so
wow.
I don't think Tarantino's like a perfect person, but
what was the thing that he was accused for in that then? So he made her do the.
Basically, she was like, I don't think the stunt's safe.
Okay.
And she was like, I want someone else to the car, and he was like, no, you do it. And he was like, she was like, well,
she said no.
You literally see her from the back.
Oh.
So it could easily have been like, you know, you in a wig.
Yeah.
And no one would have known.
God.
And he made her do it, and then like the car crashes.
God.
And then the bigger thing about it was like he tried to like, because the movie was coming out, he was like, let's just not tell anyone about it because it's gonna get like bad press for like the movie.
Yeah.
And then kind of smuggled it for ages, but then he released it himself because I think she was just talking about it.
Oh, I see.
And it's why she's never done a Tarantino.
I was gonna say like, of course that makes sense. But I was gonna say like in the film, there's a little bit of like Brad Pitt meeting that 15-year-old girl, and it seemed very poignant, and it seemed very much like him saying this was being offered to him openly, and then she didn't give her ID, and then he had to go, excuse me, sweetheart, have you got an ID, sort of thing, and then...
Yeah, it kind of seems like there's a little nod to that.
You know, like,
right,
this is what was happening then. Like, I don't
yeah.
know, that's what I think I saw when I saw that.
So just linking back to, obviously we were talking about 1917, what do you make of the Oscars that it did win? So it got
Roger Deakins.
Yeah, it got cinematography, got sound mixing, and visual effects. Like, would you say that they're all kind of, they're fair?
Yes, I would. I think visually this film is stunning. Absolutely, like there's not a single point where you question anything, and it's fucking World War One.
So would you say that is more, you know, obviously we're talking about Parasite, and that's more less stylistic, more about the about the story and the characters. Would you say this is a lot more style over substance, or is that a harsh sort of analogy for it?
It's definitely style over substance, actually. I mean, there's like I said, there's not that much of a storyline other than the one you're presented with.
Just kind of the
A to B plot. That's the thing. You don't get
no
too much history or
end.
anything. There's no big twists.
No big twist. Like it wasn't. I was a Nazi.
The only thing
I was a Nazi all along.
Do you know what? I keep saying Nazi.
Shoot everyone in the face like Henry
this was World War One, so it wasn't Nazi.
Oh, so
I've just disclosed myself, but at the same time,
call them the bad guys.
The bad guys.
So I wasn't the bad guy all along.
We have skulls on our backs. The bad guys. There was little parts of me thought maybe Once Upon a Time in Hollywood should have won on cinematography. I think it was really artistic.
It won that one
lovely.
production design.
Oh, there we go. Actually, okay, that is perfect. That makes sense.
I would say that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood did a really good job of creating that world.
That world looks.
But I think that's production design. I think the costumes look great, the feel of it look great, and also Tarantino's like eye for music, ESI for music is so good.
Yes,
so like you instantly get sucked.
There was such great. There was a lot of it. I think maybe it was overdone actually, but a lot of those moving car shots with the music playing.
It's a good 10 minutes. I think you're just sat in the car.
Definitely, but it gives you that feeling of like what it was like then. And he did say in an interview, it was like it turned into a memory piece for him because it was when he was growing up and he was starting to get used to this stuff.
Yeah, he said it was his favourite. In 1917, so the cinematography was done by Roger Deakins.
Okay.
He's been nominated 15 15 times.
Whoa.
Well, twice. And it was his last two films he got. So he was nominated 14 times without a win.
Really?
Sorry, 13 times.
What was the first one they won with?
Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, that
he
was
did-
incredible.
So like, if you look at this guy's career, he's done most of the Coen Brothers movies. He did Shawshank. He didn't win for that.
Good.
He did No Country for Old Men. He didn't win for that. He did. He did
the big
Skyfall. He didn't win for that, which is why him and Sam Mendes are tight. So like, he just always loses.
Oh,
And then he won it for 2049. Now he's won again. He's a good guy.
Fair play.
Yeah,
He's
Watch
a-
out for him. Whatever.
He thinks like 70 now. He's finally won. He's been doing cinematography since like the 80s.
Watch out for him. Whatever he's going to be doing
Yeah.
for next year.
definitely. Wow.
I was actually really
Prolific.
disappointed at the animated feature.
Yeah.
So disappointed.
Tell me.
Toy Story.
Oh God.
Toy Story 4.
Why would that be winning anything?
It wasn't a strong category.
No, but
Right.
they did have the. I think it was. What was it? Klaus?
Yeah, Cloud, the Netflix one.
Like that,
That was
was
good.
fucking.
That was really good.
I loved that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't seen it.
So it's. I don't know. It's just kind of like a modern Christmas tale.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay.
I was.
It's really, really good.
You know, if you watch Christmas, if you're kind of one of those people when it gets to, December 2nd and you're
You want
watching
something
Christmas
fresh to
movies,
watch, yeah.
you want a new Christmas movie to watch
Yeah.
because there's only so many times you can watch Jingle All the Way
An elf.
and Elf, and
Yeah.
you're kind of like, I want something different. I remember I watched Klaus this year and I was like, it's actually really, really good. I watched it a couple of times. Like, it was a really, really good movie. So I was really surprised that something new and inventive like that didn't win the animated feature. I was just a bit disappointed because I remember watching Toy Story.
Yeah.
I was just.
I thought Toy Story was... I mean, I think what happened with Klaus is that people just forget after Christmas.
Yeah.
So when it comes to
Do you
voting
reckon?
time, you're like,
Yeah.
I'm not seasonal anymore. It's January. So maybe people just don't vote for it. I mean, it was the best one in that category.
Oh,
Without
yeah.
a doubt. So it was... I think it was like the new How to Train Your Dragon, Frozen 2, Toy Story, and that.
What a fucking category that
But
is.
yeah, Toy Story
Toy
for me.
4.
Like I can understand if you're just talking about the the effort and the length that it goes to make something like that, then fine. But if just
The
overall,
end product was.
I'm not. I
Tell
thought
us
the
what you
story
thought,
was.
Tom. I'm interested.
Do you
I think we
enjoy the
talked
story
about
to it?
Well, so I'll start by saying that obviously, like, I was 12 when the first story first came out. So like I've grown up with these things.
Yeah.
It was done after Toy Story 3. I think we can all agree that it was done.
Definitely.
And, like,
Did you
completely.
tear up?
Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're going to the furnace, man.
Good man.
It's heartbreaking. It's
That's-
heartbreaking.
Yeah, that is.
And, like-
I feel like they could have just killed them off all there.
Yeah, if
that
they'd
would've
killed
been
off all there, then like kids would have dealt with it.
Can you
And
imagine?
kids would have been like, that's how kids would have known about death.
So kids, and then everybody
Everybody dies in fire.
Everybody incinerated.
Could you imagine?
But well, the thing is, they've done things since. You look at things like Coco and Inside Out. They deal with these. I mean, they haven't
Yeah.
burnt anyone in fire, but they do deal with these like complex issues.
Coco,
Yeah.
Coco, I
But
think
Coco
was
got me.
really
Coco
bad.
got me really bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Toy Story 4, like no one wanted it. No one was asking for it. And
Exactly.
generally, when Pixar have done these sequels, whether it's Cars 2 or 3 or Finding Dory or Monsters Uni, whatever it was,
Yeah.
like no one's really giving a shit. But like Toy Story was generally considered to be one of the best trilogies.
Yes,
Like kind of
for
perfect.
sure.
Don't touch it. So when they did
Agreed.
it, and I remember when I saw the trailer, and it's like Forky, and it was like, this might be alright. Like we kind of,
character?
well, that was the other thing. I was like, what's the point?
Yes.
And then they brought in like other characters, and like, well, we don't want that.
We don't want
And like
that.
Buzz
exactly.
is barely in it.
Yeah.
And like, I don't understand why you think like you need to move this on to like you're not going to make Toy Story 5.
Don't regenerate it. Just
They're
don't
going
keep
to.
it going.
They're going to.
Of
They're
course
gonna
they're
do
going to.
5
They don't
and
give a
6,
shit
so-
anymore.
They've now, but they've now brought in so many new characters. If you're not going to make
They got a new-
if
Yeah.
you're not going to make
I mean,
it,
I did like Duke Kaboom, the guy who's
who's quite
Keanu
funny,
Reeves, but I
yeah.
mean, that's 3 minutes.
That's so true.
This is
Yeah.
not that big.
Yeah.
And-
Oh,
and
and the
Key and Peele.
terrifying dolls as well. I remember being.
I
The
love
they
ones
are
that look like Jimmy
terrifying.
Carr.
I love that.
Yes.
I love those terrifying dolls.
Yeah.
And the little
Quite
like,
shiny
music
ones.
they had.
Yes.
That it really sort of took
Good
me
bad
to
guys
like.
in a terrible
Yeah.
film.
But
in a
it's not
terrible
enough.
scenario.
But like,
Yeah.
all you need to do with that sort of thing is make shorts. 'Cause they did like a
Yeah.
Halloween like
They
specials or
did
things like
lots
that.
of yeah. They
So
did
true.
do
Just
quite
keep
a lot
doing
of
that.
That's
shorts.
so true.
And it's not like you don't need the money. And it kind of falls into the whole pile of me now of like the Disney remakes. And to me, Toy Story 4 falls into that shitty Lion King, shitty Aladdin, shitty Dumbo remake.
Yes.
And now it's just like, it's not a remake, but it's just another pointless thing that no one's
Exactly.
really asking
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
But every single one of those movies I mentioned made $1 billion.
That's the thing. That's
Because
the main bottom line.
Parents will
isn't it?
take their kids to see anything and half
They
time
just-
shut them up.
This
They
is
just wanna
the
see.
thing that me and Stan have said so many times is
Yeah.
that we're sick to death of all of these remakes and all of these live action Disney shit, but they will still make so much fucking money to spite themselves. Like, it's just mad.
It's so frustrating.
People will go and see them.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I think that's you can probably say is that at least they're not really directed by like good directors. Like, you're not getting like Taika Waititi going out to like come on man, make a decent movie.
Yeah.
Why are you doing Dumbo? But like, I mean, Tim Burton's a good director. Sometimes,
Yeah,
but like,
come on.
yeah, but like, when was it? Yeah, Dumbo shit.
Yeah.
But at least Guy Ritchie, he did Aladdin, but then at least he went, "I've got the gentleman."
Yeah, exactly.
So at least he had that.
I'll
in his
save
back
myself
pocket.
a little bit here. But then I was thinking, Pixar, on the whole, I would say they've, in the past, only done sequels when it felt like there was a reason to.
Yeah,
and then
money,
they
mate.
had a really good, a solid idea for like a good progression of those characters that we use. Because Finding Dory was a really good film. That was a 5-star film. That was on over Christmas, wasn't it?
5-star.
No, it was. It was genuinely, everybody rated 5-star film.
Finding Dory.
You rated it
Definite.
5 stars.
I
You
rated it
personally.
5 stars as
So
well.
you think that's one of the best Pixar movies ever?
It's as good as the first one, I'd say. Honestly, without a doubt, that's a moving.
I liked it,
Cut.
but I
Monsters University, not the best film.
I can't barely remember
but
it.
I can see why they made it, but then Toy Story 4, I thought, so there must be a
What about
reason.
Cars 2 and 3?
Okay, fuck them.
so
There's a reason
that's
it's because
your
kids buy toy cars.
Yeah,
That's the only reason
that's
those
what
films
it is.
exist.
It's the merch, isn't it? That's the
Yeah.
thing. But then I think with this one, I just thought, well, they've got Tom Hanks back for it. They've had to go through the whole process of getting everyone back in. So maybe there's a real, like, substantial storyline. They thought, okay, maybe it doesn't need to end. And then you see it, and from the first minute, I could tell that was not the case. There was just like this kind of, so there's throwback with Woody and Bo Peep, and you're like, wait, what?
Literally, like, they thought, the way I think they looked at it was they thought, oh, who can we bring back? Bo Peep. No one gave a shit. No one cared about Bo Peep. Like,
Yeah.
people like Jessie more than her. No one really cares
Definitely.
about that.
Well,
Like, literally, I was like, oh, was she Woody's girlfriend? Yeah, can't really remember. And then, like, the Forky thing, I generally think they were writing it, and it was late at night, and someone looked in the bin and saw a spork and went, guys, we can knock off early
Yeah,
tonight.
I think for
probably
me
the
there
case.
was too much palaver made over the ending. You know, I heard I kind of saw it late in the day, maybe like a week or two after it came out.
Oh, yeah.
And there was so much, rigmarole and uproar and people just.
What's the ending? I can't
It's
remember.
so emotional. It's so emotional. Take a box of tissues.
What
Oh,
was
it's
it?
awful.
It's about the fork, isn't it?
No. So it's Woody kind of
Jonathan
going
Wood.
off with Bo Peep and leaving.
Oh, he's not a toy.
Gang.
He's not with them anymore.
Yeah, he's not with them
Oh,
anymore. And
yeah.
I sat there and I was waiting for this big emotional.
I was as well,
heft.
yeah.
Like you get in 3 when they're in the furnace and they're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
die,
yeah,
and
Such a
you're
build-up,
you're
yeah.
waiting for it to happen.
I
Yeah.
didn't even feel well. It was like a slight anything. I didn't feel anything.
Nothing.
And I'm just.
I just
like,
wish that all you hear was like potato head. Like, fuck off, Woody.
And I was just kind of like, I was watching it, just waiting for it to happen. I was like,
And
"Are
then
you
it
fucking
ends.
Serious?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Is that it?
Exactly.
I
Look,
just-
and the thing about it is like I took my nephews and my niece to go and watch it because then I was like, well, maybe. And they didn't give a shit either. They're like all of them, and I'm like, well,
That
maybe. I
says something.
was like, either I'll like it because I'll be like nostalgia,
Yeah.
or they'll like it because it'll be like
And
they've grown up with Toy
How
Story.
mad that you
recently.
all left.
And we all just left like this.
Oh, God.
All just kind of left
Just went
walking
like,
out.
what
Walking
the
out
hell?
My
like-
nephew said to me that he preferred Hotel Transylvania 3. And if that is like...
Take that,
is,
Disney.
yeah.
God damn.
That's
That's
an Adam
brutal.
Sandler comedy.
I'll tell you what, Hotel Transylvania, I do enjoy it. I do like it.
Yeah.
I've seen them all.
I mean, it's quite an original idea, isn't it? The
It's
whole,
stupid and
the way
funny.
the
But
way
yeah.
it's done is very clever.
Give me another one of them.
Why didn't that get best Oscar?
Come on.
Do you know, I was thinking, I keep seeing Bradley Cooper in the audience for this. Was
He
there for
produced Joker.
Oh, of course he did. Okay.
So
That's why.
it's directed by Todd Phillips. Did the Hangover movies.
Yeah, what about? I was about to say,
Right.
what about Toddy Boy?
Toddy boy.
Todd Phillips.
Okay.
Did he have his little cameo in Joker or not? Because I
don't
swear he
know.
went through a little phase.
He does
of,
do
like,
weird
yeah, he
cameos
does-
in
he
most
does-
of his
'cause
movies.
I think it's in Hangover 1 or 2. He's one of the guys in a lift or something.
Is
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
I did
yeah.
not
He
know
always plays like a weird creep.
that.
He
Really?
always gives himself stupid cameos for the movie just because I thought it was quite
He
funny.
did.
I'm like Shyamalan, you see
He's
that.
in Road Trip and he's sucking the girl's feet.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's a weird guy.
Love Road Trip. I
I
haven't
love
thought
Road
about
Trip.
that movie for years.
It was really so he was getting really not pissed off, but they were talking about Joker,
Yeah.
and he was saying, "Oh, I made Joker because you can't make comedy anymore because you have to be so politically correct."
Right.
And then he was getting annoyed that he wasn't nominated for oh no, he was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Oh, he was, okay.
And then Taika Waititi won it, and he was
Right.
like, politically correct, I've made a fucking Hitler comedy. I want it, so maybe you can make them. He's not particularly liked, Todd Phillips.
Is he not?
Apparently not.
Why is that, do you reckon?
I think he's just a macho kind of.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at all his movies, like he's done the 3 Hangover movies, they're all
Yeah.
just lad movies.
I see. It's just supposed to be a bit
Joker's
of
very
like
much
a bit
that.
cheap comedy, like slapstick style
Yeah.
stuff. I see.
And I think Joker kind of got a bit of backlash. So when they do, so every time it's the Oscars, what they'll do is they get all like the directors nominated to sit around the table and sort of have a chat.
Yeah.
And then when it was Todd Phillips, everyone was like, "How dare you be in the same room as Tarantino, Martin
They probably were,
Scorsese,
weren't they?
Bong Joon-ho, and all these people."
Speaking of comedy, though, wasn't there a big snub with Adam Sandler didn't get nominated?
Oh my god! Like we'll talk about the snubs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you seen Uncut Gems?
Oh,
No.
yes, I've seen it.
You've seen it
Do you
now?
not like it?
So here's my
Love it.
thing. I just
I also hate Adam Sandler. Don't get me wrong.
no. To be honest, I'm I don't know. His early stuff, you can tell he's just kind of been thrown in at the deep end.
Yeah.
Can't act to save his life. I do think his sort of later works, especially these ones that are banging out on Netflix, are alright. But I watched Uncut Gems, heard so many people sort of going on about it. I watched it. I was just kind of like,
Really?
too much meandering,
Right.
and too many sort of characters that I thought, why are you there? Like the you get the two older guys with the stupid hair.
Yeah.
They're what's the need for them? I can see that they're putting the pressure on him, and they're kind of adding up to his his debts and stuff like that. But they don't add anything. Like,
But can you see
It's,
why it's like so critically acclaimed at the same time?
no,
So
No, not at
no.
all.
I think the best part about it was the ending, and I only say that because
yeah,
of
well,
what
let's not spoil it. But
You guys go.
there's a movie he does. Sorry, not him, but the guys who did it before called Good Time, and it stars Robert Pattinson.
right.
And
Okay.
it's not similar, but it's basically so like this movie is meant to be just like this constant stress building up to just like do anything to get out of it. And like that's why I thought it really worked. I thought it went quite quickly, and I quite like the girl in it as well, which was really good. But
Yeah, I don't know.
I can see why some people don't like it. I think it's very hit or miss, and I don't like Sandler, so
I think there's too much kind of meandering about, and there's not enough for something that's meant to build up to be this massive crescendo,
Climax.
because the ending is a big
yeah.
it is a big climax at the end, and I say the best bit about it is the ending.
Yeah.
I know it kind of sounds like a bit of a backhanded compliment, but it is a really really good ending, really strong, and I love the fact that it just kind of ends and you're like, oh,
I love the ending
fuck.
because I remember seeing when they were in that bit, and then I was like, "There's no fucking way you can get out of this, mate."
Yeah.
And I was watching it with like just a couple of mates, and they're like, "What's he gonna do? He's gonna get out of this. He's gonna call someone. This is gonna happen. He's gonna get out the window." And I was like, "I think he's fucked." And it comes out and that happens, and you're just like, and it ends very very quickly, very stark, and obviously the girl gets away. But I thought it was again. I know people that hated it, and
I wouldn't say I hated it. I was just expecting a bit more. Like, you never find
did you not find it like tense, like edge of your seat sort of thing?
Some moments were. I think when you're, when he's trying to get the diamond rock to the auction house. When he's trying to get that there, and he's waiting on the basketball player to give it to him and stuff like that. And it does kind of build up, and he's needing that fucking money now. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't feel like there was enough. I wasn't scared about his character. I wasn't worried for him.
Well, I think that's the problem a couple of my mates had, is that like, because he's an arsehole, is that some people are just like, don't care what happens to you, really. Like, it'd be nervous if it was like a Tom Hanks character, or someone that you actually give a shit about. But when it's just like, fucking don't.
But also,
this is for the water boy. Done.
Yeah, you never kind of find out like about I wanted to find out some kind of backstory behind the rock and the gems and stuff like that. It's just kind of like, just pick this up. I was watching a documentary.
There's a scene at the start where there's some like guys in like Africa.
But they never.
It's not touched upon ever again.
It's never touched upon in the movie. It's just like, just watching this documentary and saw this, and I thought it'd be really cool to get it, and He just gets it delivered to him. There's no gravitas put on it. There's no, I really had to fight for this. I had to bid for this on eBay, or do you know what I mean? There's no. He just kind of gets it shipped to him, delivered. Oh, everybody, look at this rock. Okay, what's your point?
I know where you're coming from. I disagree.
I
I think he should have got nominated for Best Actor. I thought he was great.
Fucking Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Wow, is he that good?
I fucking hate Adam Sandler. Like I can name on like 3 fingers the movies are like this is one of them Punch Drunk Love. 2. But I thought it was great in it.
What about the? Would you make that other movie that came out about 6 months ago? The one with Jennifer Aniston. Do you not like that one? No. That one was.
He's done like 4 movies with Jennifer Aniston. I don't know which one you're talking about. I don't like any of them.
No, it was the Netflix. So he's
Murder Mystery.
Yeah, the Murder Mysteries one. Did you like that?
It's the best one out of them.
I was literally just kind of like
He's having his films with Jennifer Aniston.
He's having like a little renaissance with Netflix, isn't he? In the last.
Well, he signed a
Signed
6-picture deal.
Yeah.
And the first one he did was called like it was like a Western piss take. It was called like The Good, the Bad, and the Stupid. No, Ridiculous 6.
Oh yeah.
It was called.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh my god, these movies are terrible. But like the Adam Sandler movies make money though. Like like grown ups makes like billions of dollars.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really care.
It's unreal, isn't it?
And then like occasionally he drops one in when he acts.
Yes. Yeah.
And this is an example.
Every now and again.
Wasn't it Click or something like that?
He did Click, and there's also I saw one where he's like a cobbler. In fact, that might be the name of it. The Cobbler, and it was amazing. It was really like hard hitting, touching. It was lovely.
What's it about? I haven't seen it.
Oh,
that was another Netflix one.
I couldn't give you a full synopsis, but
is he a cobbler? Is he a shoemaker?
He's a shoemaker. He's like a simple guy. It's just like it's that actual acting. It's like seeing Jim Carrey when he can actually get his teeth into a serious role.
Right, can we not knock Jim Carrey, please?
Okay,
can we just
not to put Jim Carrey in with Adam
one
Sandler.
podcast without knocking Jim Carrey. Is that all right?
I fucking love Jim Carrey, but Adam Sandler. Yeah, I think I agree with Tom mostly. I haven't seen anything I liked from Adam Sandler in 10 years, something mad like that.
To be honest, I've never been Adam Sandler fan at all. I think all of his early work, he just looks like a lost child.
Yes, yeah.
Kind of doesn't know what he's fucking doing. He just talks really quietly out of the side of his mouth. And exactly. I never enjoyed him at all.
Nah, weird guy.
And yeah, he's just got this massive kind of deal with Netflix. He's bringing out all these Netflix movies, and they're kind of building up in how lauded they're becoming.
Yes.
So obviously, as Tom said, we had Ridiculous 6, we had The Cobbler, we had Murder Mysteries, which got quite a lot of buzz.
Did it?
Yeah, last year it got quite a lot of buzz.
Oh,
a lot of people gave some love to that, and then Uncut Gems. People have been going crazy for this movie.
Yeah.
So, if I'm right, he's brought out 4. So he's maybe got sort of like 1 or 2.
I think he's done 4.
1 or 2 left.
2 left. Well, he's got some big shoes to fill in the next one, doesn't he? Really.
He'll just drop 2 shit films.
Yeah. But that is Adam Sandler, isn't it? He'll drop something massive like that, and people go crazy for it, and then he'll do 2 That's shit movies, and he'll be doing fart.
I would prefer if he didn't bring anything out rather than just keep making the same shit. But
it's
it
more
makes a lot
annoying
of sense now
when he brings out something like Uncut Gems.
Yeah,
because then I know you weren't a massive fan, but I'm just there you can fucking act.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just annoying, isn't it? Yeah.
He did. He won an award for it the day before the Oscars. They do something called the Independent Spirit Awards.
Okay.
Which is basically just taking out all the mainstream shit.
That's
so
good.
You have to qualify it somehow. Anyway, he won Best Actor. Basically, it's people that aren't invited to the Oscars.
Got it. Right.
Do an award.
B team.
Yeah. And then he just he did a really good speech. It was just all the people nominated tonight, and Adam Driver was nominated, and he was there. And Willem Dafoe was nominated.
Do you know anything about the do they call it the Razzies?
The Razzies,
yeah.
I mean, surely that's all cats.
that's the I was about to say.
It must be all cats.
They had James Corden and Rebel Wilson, didn't they?
There's something really heartbreaking about that. So there was this. So James Corden and Rebel Wilson just turned up to the Oscars dressed as cats, and they were announcing best they were presenting best visual effects.
Yeah.
So they were like, we know they're dressed as cats. We know exactly what it's like to be do visual effects.
That was it.
But this guy who works on cats as a visual effect designer, this big long thing goes these guys he was I lost my job after Cats, and they shut down the studio that did the Cats design.
Oh.
And he was like, look, all we did was like take orders. They said make some weird cats. We made some weird cats.
Oh, that poor
and he's
guy.
like, everyone's like, well, it's not just him. Like loads of people. Like he's like, these people go on stage now, and obviously they're just trying to distance themselves from cats and being like, yeah, what a laugh. We knew it was gonna be shit.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And
Make a
he was
meme
like,
out of
yeah,
it.
and he's like, I worked like 80-hour weeks, like just working on it, trying to make.
Oh,
And he was like,
God.
every time suddenly they're calling me and telling me like make the tails more weird, and he's like, really?
Fucking hell. That's the thing. Whoever was giving those orders and saying, make them look like cat people.
Yeah.
Like, that's the person that should be fired, really.
I'm just not. As soon as I saw the first
As soon as
teaser
you
for
saw
that,
the first string.
I was literally
Nope.
like, "This is going to be awful."
This is gonna be
It's
one
like when
star
they
film.
brought out that first teaser for Sonic, and everyone was just like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck?
What have
Why
you
does
done
Sonic
with
look
Sonic?
like
Yeah.
that?"
That's the thing, but at least with Sonic they listened. With cats they just went, fuck it.
We'll release it anyway.
It'll work,
see what
it'll work,
happens,
it'll
yeah.
work on the day. Everyone will see it.
So what else got snubbed? You're going to take him through some, right?
Oh, J-Lo.
J-Lo.
So J-Lo, there's a movie called Hustlers that came out last year.
Really
Okay.
enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's great.
I really like that movie.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying because J-Lo's really hot and 50, but she is really generally really good in it.
It is crazy that she's 50.
Like she's so old but
Yeah.
fit
So
at the
fit,
same
so
time.
fit.
How does that work?
Well played, J-Lo.
Yeah, I thought she was
something
gonna
we
get.
don't know.
I thought she was gonna get supporting.
Yeah.
She didn't. Obviously, Greta Gerwig got massively snubs for the director.
Oh yeah, I did hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's their big thing about it. It was all men.
Yes, makes sense. Yeah, bit of a shame.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a couple of other like foreign movies like no one's really seen it. Like Parasite was nominated, so you're not gonna get like it's not gonna be completely that. So,
Yeah.
just, small mercies.
mm.
There's a couple of others like Burning's a really good movie. It's got Glenn from The Walking Dead in it. It's really really good.
Oh yeah,
Right, but
interesting.
no one sees these movies.
this is the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another thing. So like the BAFTAs, they do a thing called Rising Star,
Okay.
where it's basically like people who like it's not a proper award.
Okay.
Well, it is, but it's just like new. It's like best, it's almost like best
up and
newcomer.
coming. Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
last year or the year before they gave it to I can't remember the girl's name, but Shuri from Black Panther.
Yeah. She won it.
Yeah.
Letitia, right?
Yeah, that's it, Letitia Wright.
Yeah.
And she gave this really like
Yeah, really, really nice
heartfelt,
speech.
passionate
But basically,
speech.
and there was one by this guy today from this movie which I haven't seen. But it's like a gang movie in London,
Okay.
and it got loads of press because like this fight broke out in it, and it got banned. from
Oh,
cinema.
True Story.
That's the one.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
But it's almost become now for like the BAFTAs that basically they give it the black person wins that one.
So
it's
is
the
that
best,
kind of like
the
the-
best
no.
newcomer. It's like say Letitia Wright won it and this guy won it. Like it's always given to like. And again, they had no
What a
like.
cop out.
Yeah, but it's always really, really good actors in it. Who,
Yeah.
like, should really be not like Aquafina, who's she's in a movie called The Farewell, and she's done those other movies. She's in
I
like,
know
Ocean's
that
8
name.
and Crazy Rich Asians. She's a rapper as well.
Oh.
She's really, really good. She's kind of, she's a bit sassy, isn't she?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that
Yeah.
kind of sassy,
That's what I've heard
sassy
of her.
Asianness to her.
Yeah.
But, like she was nominated for like this newcomer like Rising Star thing, and she was like she didn't even bother going. She's like, "Oh, fuck you, I'm a Rising Star. I've been on that for years."
That's brilliant.
So I think that was a bit of a snub, but she didn't really get much more love. But I mean, you do have to realise that like and I think that like a lot of these categories they only get like 5 nominations.
Yeah.
So there's not much point. Like, do you really want to get all dressed up when you know you're gonna lose to Joaquin Phoenix?
This is the thing. Yeah.
And like,
I don't know if you can get a good seat and have a bit of a piss up with some fun people. Why not?
yeah. Well, most of them get, but you get invited anyway.
Yeah.
Like generally, I mean, like Keanu Reeves, like everything I saw yesterday, because Keanu Reeves was there, and obviously he's not going to win for John Wick or be nominated for anything like that, or whatever else, like all Toy Story 4. So he's just in the background, just like
Having a party.
like, Matrix 4 next year. Like, Bill and Ted's coming out.
Bill and Ted is coming out, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's coming out.
I
Big
can't
deal.
wait.
If maybe they did do something for stunt, maybe something like John Wick would get recognised.
That's very
Yeah.
true.
Well, exactly.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Like,
The
If they
Rage
did, if they
would
did
have got
stunts or
nominated.
something like
well,
that.
they need to like distinguish between like visual effects and like.
That should
Choreography
definitely happen.
almost.
Do you think we'll see that happen now? Now that it's been
I
brought
don't know,
up?
they don't really have. Well, just because Brad Pitt mentioned it.
So you're saying you
I
I
want
mean,
to
I think they've got to deal with their racial problems while they deal with the stunt
That's
people.
true. That's very
So you're
true.
saying you want to see a 2-day Oscars?
Everyone goes.
So first day you've got
Yeah,
story driven and characters,
Yeah.
and the next day is kind of all the nuts and bolts.
Everyone
Yeah.
stopped watching. It's like best catering on set.
I'm gonna get a nod
Those
for that.
The Irishman
sandwiches.
guys are still sat there like, when are we gonna win something?
Look, mate, those tacos you did on the set, chef's kiss, don't you?
Well, yeah.
I mean, the things you got to remember with things like the Oscars and things like, and the Super Bowl's kind of similar as well. Is that no one outside of America even watches them
This is true.
because of the time difference. Everyone just catches
Oh,
it on
yeah.
YouTube. And then, did you stay up for Super Bowl?
No,
Oh, you did,
I've done
didn't you?
it. I've done it
I
previously.
Yeah.
did it in the past, like before I did like 9 to 5. when I could stay up that late.
Before we were old, yeah.
I think once you get over the age of 25, if you got to stay up past like 10, 11
Yeah, it's like, whoa, can I do that?
This is a big night.
And again, I think with the Oscars, like, and it's not also like because I haven't got a host anymore. It's not that funny. Like, there's no one really doing
so
any
true.
good jokes,
Yeah,
and it's not like the Golden Globes. You give Ricky Gervais doesn't give a fuck, and like he just comes on, just like
He's almost like
rips into.
He's
it.
almost like the show. In himself,
exactly. That's more
isn't it?
interesting than who wins.
That's so true.
Because really, like all that happens now is whoever wins, and like no one's that drunk.
Well, yeah,
so no one
they're
really
not that
gets
drunk.
up. It's not
And
like a
they always-
music award where everyone's like, "Yeah, fuck you." Like, it's
So
like
they
maybe a
always
little
have
bit of
something that they want to like say, like
promote and stuff.
we all
like
knew
that.
it with Joaquin Phoenix, but at the same time, like you can, if you were in his shoes, yeah, you would want to say, you want to use that platform for saying like climate change and animal rights and all this. But
yeah, no one watches the fucking Oscars, so
That's
you can say,
exactly
you
it.
can say it another
That's
time
it.
if you would. You can write a book.
Yeah.
Like, I swear, was it Anthony Hopkins or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
They've gone up and they've been Jack Nicholson.
oh yeah,
When didn't he go up and he was absolutely like this is
Oh,
obviously
he was
going back decades
smashed.
ago. He
I
was
saw this.
absolutely fucked.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
had
In the
to get
olden
s-
days, everyone's off their face.
And he's had to
Nixon
get
just
someone
went some.
else.
Oh yeah, Nixon did it, and he had to get Robin Williams.
that was it. Robin
Yeah,
Williams.
Robin Williams
and
just
Robin
got,
Williams
yeah.
did this incredible.
Yeah, just do like
photo.
impressions of him. And
Oh,
like,
it
of
was so
everyone.
good.
Yeah, that's
I
really
love
good.
that clip.
Yeah, you don't get
I'll,
shit like
I will
that
link
anymore.
that clip if you're
Yeah.
listening. That was
And I
so
think
funny.
I think everyone's quite serious about it now. And like because everyone's always like, there's not enough white people, not enough women, not enough this, that, and the other. I'm like, it doesn't really. I mean, obviously it does, but to get these films like more of an audience, it does. And like one of the benefits about Parasite winning is that hopefully people will go and watch like a lot more of these
Hopefully
movies
it's a
and things
ground,
like that.
yeah.
Well,
big-
we've
quite
kind
good.
of
Ground move.
we've experienced that ourselves, haven't we, with Parasite? You know
We
that
have indeed.
people will go see that kind of thing.
yeah.
I was never really. I got introduced to foreign films. Well, I say quite late, but when do you kind of get into them? I think I got introduced to them when I was about 17.
That's probably similar. Yeah,
It was
something like
learning about
You
films.
you don't learn
And
about them
it was
for a
kind of my
long time.
teacher just being like, "Look, have you ever, anyone seen a foreign film before?" Everyone looking around the class at each other like, "Fuck no! Why am I going to watch a movie I
Yeah.
can't understand?" And he's like, "Right, I'm going to put this on. You need to give it a chance."
You
and
have
actually-
to, and it opens your mind.
yeah, and since then
Yeah.
I've just kind of been like, you know what, I can actually read and pay attention to the story
Yes.
and gather things at the same time. And
Yeah.
loads, I do quite enjoy a good foreign movie as long as it's got a good plot to it.
Yeah.
Then I'm game.
I have a bit of a qualm with the whole like. There's no. I think the argument is that there's no female or people of color having director credits. But this is the thing. It's going to take a while for that to happen. Who was it for the best director this year? We had 5 white men, right? Or 4.
4 white men and Bong Joon-ho.
Of course. Okay. But the thing is, it's
Okay,
going
I've
to
just
take
said
a
his
long
name
time. It's going to take a very long time because, yeah, there is change happening within the industry. I think we're all aware of it. There's a lot of, like, making sure people get different roles and diversity, etc. But at the same time, these are people that have really had to earn their keep by producing these films continuously. Then it's not just going to suddenly be, like, all new coming directors, is it?
Yeah.
That was something I thought, yeah, okay, I suppose you can have a bit of a problem with it, but it's unrealistic to think it's just going to suddenly be like now it's all these.
Yeah.
My argument to that is the same argument that I have about the whole James Bond thing.
Yeah.
Is I don't care whether he's white, I don't care whether he's black, I
Yeah.
don't care whether he's Asian, I don't care whether it's a female.
Yeah.
So long it is the best person for that, I'm happy.
Yeah.
If there was a female that had directed, I don't know, fucking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Yeah.
and she had made that film, and she's in the running for best
Yeah.
director.
Yeah.
Fair play, because it's a good movie.
This is the thing.
But if you're not going to make movies that are of standard
A certain
and ilk,
pedigree. These guys
you're not
have
gonna-
pedigree
Yeah,
because
exactly.
of that.
If you're not going to make a movie, of that ilk, then
Yeah.
of course you're not. Why the fuck am I going to vote
Exactly.
for you?
Yeah.
I don't. But
I mean, one of the things I've always looked at it is like there are loads of like. I don't think it's about the fact they're not making these movies. I don't think they get like the audience they do because I think generally they won't make as many mainstream movies. So it'd be more likely to be like something. I mean, like
Right,
I
this
saw
is
a
it.
few movies that like directed by women last year, and then they were good,
Yeah.
but like and they were great. But like I was like, that's not going to be an Oscar-nominated movie. It's not going to be an
Right, I
Oscar-nominated
see
movie.
what you mean.
But that's because they want to make more personal projects.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
Greta Gerwig, she made two movies, before she made Little Women. And like Lady Bird was kind of her breakthrough. She made one before that called Frances Ha. And like she slowly got there, and now she's like kind of there.
Ah, I see.
And she's got this thing. But like one thing I don't like is how like, so when Taika Waititi won for Jojo Rabbit,
Yeah.
and people were like, oh, I can't believe Greta Gerwig like didn't win. I was like, yeah, but it's not his fucking
It's
fault.
not
It's not his fault. He made
I
Jojo
hate
Rabbit.
that. It's when they make out
And,
like you winning it is
and
the
he's
problem.
like an indigenous like New Zealand guy. Like, he's the first one of like that
in
sort
itself.
of- yeah, exactly.
Groundbreaking.
That's the
itself.
big thing. So
That's it.
you know, you can't really, you know, it's not Todd Phillips' fault. He's white and he made the Joker.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
And like, it's more about how. It's more about the marketing of these movies. So like the movies that are made by women just don't get these big like champions and these things that push through.
Maybe that's the main thing. It's the fact that if you've got this massive budget for a film and you're looking at like the producer chucking money at it, you just wouldn't go, okay, who are we gonna get in? And it would be someone like you say, someone that hasn't got the pedigree or the background of doing so many like big budget films. You go and you would look at the big hitters and you get in your Tarantino, your Spielberg, etc.
Let's look at what Michael Bay's been doing.
Exactly. Maybe not.
He had a movie out on Netflix. It's called Six Underground. It's the worst movie I saw last year.
Oh no, really?
Ryan Reynolds.
With Ryan
It's
Reynolds.
fucking terrible.
You love Ryan Reynolds.
He's another one. If he's not too careful, he's going to end up like Nicolas Cage, just making
bit of a
absolutely
joke.
anything for money.
Yes, that's so true.
Everyone loves Ryan Reynolds at the moment, but he's lucky he's got Deadpool.
He's so lucky.
He's so lucky he's got Deadpool, and also he's so
They stopped
lucky
making
that
Deadpool.
He's out.
He's lucky that
He's
he's a
out.
handsome lad.
Yeah.
You could confuse him with Ryan Gosling. It's perfect.
Yeah.
They could play twins.
That'd be a good film. That'd make a good film.
What do you want to make twins?
Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
It defeats the whole point of the movie Twins. They're not to be opposites.
They need to kind of look less similar.
That's such a modern day interpretation of it.
They're mainly making a sequel to it, Tributes. It's true, with Eddie Murphy.
Really?
It's a true story.
What?
Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock.
No, the originals.
Oh,
Arnie, Danny DeVito, and Eddie Murphy is the third. And it's just, for whatever reason, somehow Eddie Murphy's related to them.
Is that actually happening?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Half brother.
Yeah.
Oh man. I keep seeing it, like you keep seeing these there's another sequel of this coming. Or they're remaking this. We talked about that.
That's another snub. Did you watch Dolomite Is My Name? On Netflix?
No, I didn't. I've heard good things about that.
That's really good. So everyone thought Eddie Murphy was going to get... I still think... I don't know what your guys' thoughts on it, because Marriage Story kind of bucks the trend that they don't really like giving stuff to Netflix movies.
Doesn't seem like it, does it? That's a good point.
They don't... I mean, obviously The Irishman was like... I mean, it's Martin Scorsese, and they still were just like, you know...
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Marriage Story, I mean, it didn't win the big ones. I mean, Laura Dern got it.
Yeah.
But, you know, Adam Driver and Scarlett were never really in the mix.
That's a good point, dude. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I guess it's kind of still got this, even though it's been around for however many years, it's still kind of got this stigma to it that, oh, it's just a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
It's just a Netflix movie. Because you can stream it, you know, straight away.
Do you think that's what they're thinking? Yeah.
Well, I guess, you know, yeah, I think that's what it is. You know, if it's not coming out in the cinema and you can't see it on the big screen, you know, especially something like cinematography.
Yeah.
If you're getting that straight to your TV, is your cinematography going to be the best? Probably not. Could you maybe get it in screenplay or in in director potentially? Yeah. But you're not going to get a nod for cinematography ever from a Netflix movie.
That's true. Yeah, I think that's probably it. But we did see the Two Popes. Have you seen Two Popes?
No, I haven't. I mean, when it's on Netflix, there's just no rush.
This is the thing,
I'll
right?
see it. I get to seeing it.
Yeah.
Or they'll tend to put that whole like limited series thing on when in actual fact it's up there for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Cheeky bastards. But we've got to say kudos to Netflix. They've really upped their game in the last couple of years, I think.
Well, they've always done well with the shows, with the TV programs. They've always done really, really well with them. Like, you know, they'll bring out maybe sort of 10 a month. Yeah. One of them
will be good.
One of them will be hit, and it will be absolutely amazing, and everyone will be sort of
and they're so clever about it, so they just drop the other 9 instantly. Yeah. And they're just like, look, we're perfect. It's like, what about that shit? What about that shit? What about that shit?
Yeah.
whereas their movies, they've never really had like amazing movies, and in the last couple of years they've really sort of knocked it out of the park. I think it's more of a case of they used to just do what they do with the TV shows and make shitloads and see what happens. Whereas with the movies, they've been very particular. They've been a bit more careful with their money. With it.
I think they're chatting. They've been talking. I think they spent like 5 years like talking to big directors, people like Scorsese, guy who does Marriage Story. Alfonso Cuarón, who did Roma last year.
Oh, yeah.
He did Harry Potter and Children of Men and Gravity, so he's quite big. And then I think they've been like, look, what's the movie you want to make? But no one's ever going to put it in the cinema.
Yeah.
And then he's been like, I want to make this like this Spanish movie.
See,
and
that's
Scorsese's been like, hey, I want to bring these guys back.
That's brilliant.
And they've just been like, yeah, fuck it, do it.
That's so good.
Yeah.
What strategy? I mean...
Yeah, and then obviously they can say, look, we've got this guy now.
Yeah.
We've got this guy
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
And like, weirdly, so they've changed the way they like track their ratings now. So it used to be that basically if you watch 70% of like a movie or 70% of an episode,
Yeah.
then that tracks as you've watched it on Netflix.
Right.
They've changed it now. So if you watch 2 minutes of a Netflix show, that tracks as a rating. So
What?
So if you watch like put on something, I don't know, say you put on the first episode of The Witcher, and after
Yeah.
2 minutes you thought, fuck this, and you turned it over, that counts as you watching it. So their ratings are through the roof.
That's mad.
All their stuff. And in that new model, they were saying how The Irishman is like Martin Scorsese's biggest ever movie.
Because
They were just
the
like,
audience.
all these millions of people watching it.
But then
Even though some of them are like my girlfriend being like, nope. Like she watched 2 minutes.
Yeah, can we get a track of how many people got stopped after
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
2-3 minute
Like
mark?
1 minute. Yeah, exactly. Surely quite a lot.
And also they don't go on logging, they go on device.
So yeah, does
So if
anyone
some of the
else?
Irishman, like yourself, watch it in 2 parts. You
Yeah.
watch it on your TV, and then you finish it on your laptop. Then you've watched it twice.
That's awful.
So yeah, they
Dude,
really,
it's crazy that
they really
people don't
skew
know
their
that.
figures.
I
and
have
stuff like that.
Yeah.
always wondered how they did that analytics.
I
and
have
stuff
wondered
like
that. That is really interesting.
That's why they've got so much money to throw away.
Yeah.
Because the way they can like show it on their graph and be like, hey man, everyone watches this.
Just do a little something. Does it happen for you when you open the app and then you click it and then it's automatically started the first thing that's there? So that it started loading it?
Yeah, you get it with the big thing at the top.
Yeah,
there,
and
so-
it's already
yeah.
loading that. It's
Yeah.
like 5% in, and you wait like what? I've just opened the app. Maybe that's a little thing they're doing quite cleverly
Yeah.
actually.
Like, for all you know, you're like a big fan of something you don't even give a shit about.
Exactly. They're getting
Well,
us. They're getting people wired on this stuff, but
I spent about a day or maybe 2 days binging their new big thing, The Stranger.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we watched first episode. It's really good.
Blitz through all of it.
really, you
Yeah,
can straight through it?
every episode's like 45 minutes, 50 minutes. I've already blitzed
Nice.
through all
How
of
many
it.
episodes are we talking?
8 episodes.
Nice, you
Oh,
marathoned it.
That for me it was definitely one where like I watched it and the last 10 minutes
Yeah.
they spend getting you ready for the next episode. You're like,
Yeah,
well,
we'll
I've
watch the
got
next
to
one.
watch the next one now. I have to. So yeah, definitely keep track of that if you haven't watched it.
I've seen the first
100%.
one. I'm definitely gonna keep it.
100%.
Okay,
watch
last
that.
thing then. Give me a quick synopsis of The Stranger, if you can.
People get told secrets, really fucks up their lives, and
You have to live with
drama ensues. Yeah,
Right.
you got to see what happens,
it.
mate.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good cast.
There's a lot of it's a really
anyone I
good
know?
cast.
The main guy is Richard Armitage.
Oh, yeah.
He's from he does
Spooks,
is
he
it
was
line
in.
of
Yeah.
Line of Duty. Or,
Oh.
he's done loads of like British
British
kind of-
drama type stuff.
British
Yeah.
crime dramas and stuff
Always
like that.
talks like this. Like
Yeah.
he's got that proper like typical.
And Jennifer
Patrick
Saunders is
Stewart.
in it, isn't she? She's like a cop in
Oh
it.
really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, but also
You
what
don't
I kind
have
of
to be posh to be a policeman.
I think it was around the maybe episode 4 or episode 5. I was like, there's loads of threads. You end up halfway through the series. You end up with about 10 or 11 different plot threads.
Yeah.
And you're like, how the fuck are you going to weave all this together? Like,
Yeah.
nah, you're not going to weave it all
But they
together.
pull it off.
I got to the last.
Series 2. Then.
I got to the last episode and I was like, they've not done too bad. Like,
really.
not
Better than-
everything. Not
better than The
everything
Irishman
gets-
did it.
Yeah, not everything gets weaved all together, but it definitely kind of they managed to kind of interweave things, and yeah, you could definitely 100% you can do season 2.
Nice.
They always do that with with the
Yes,
Netflix shows.
yeah.
You always get a season 2. You know you're going to.
I'm looking forward to Afterlife season 2.
Yeah,
Coming this
yeah.
year. That'll be good.
He's been sharing a couple of things on Twitter about it being like filming now. Such a good cast.
Yes.
I really liked Afterlife. It was good.
Really like just it didn't pretend to be anything it wasn't. It was kind of like moving without having a big budget or anything. There's no like frills or anything. Yeah, really good series.
They also announced, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that they're doing Sex Education season 3.
Yeah,
that
we
was
saw
always
that
going to
coming.
happen.
We saw that
season
coming.
2 is so
So they
good.
did it really, really. They did it in a really weird way. So they brought out the principal, or the head teacher, or whatever for the school,
Yeah.
and he's kind of walking you down this corridor, and he's showing you these portraits of different characters,
Mm.
and then he takes you over to this last portrait, and he's talking about I think he's talking about his son's one of the characters, with the boyfriend.
Mm.
He's like, oh, and join us for season 3. And I was just like, why did we need to do a walkthrough of these characters? But I'm game for that. I really
love it.
I really
It's
liked it. It's really
good.
well shot. I think
Yeah.
it's the first series I thought was quite good, and then when it got to the second, one thing I found really funny about it is that I don't know when it's set.
Oh,
Like,
perfect!
it's-
This is exactly what I said to Stan.
Yeah.
It's so
It's
weird.
so confusing. It's got like a really 80s, early 90s vibe to it.
But they've all got like smartphones.
Yeah, but
and
they've all
things
got
like
smartphones, laptops, and that kind of thing.
And also, like it's clearly like the way it's set in the way the high school system is. It's clearly America, but they're all English for no particular reason.
That's so weird.
very
It is really, yeah.
I'll
it's,
definitely check
It's
that
kind
out.
of an amalgamation of, British and American culture and 80s, 90s with modern day spin.
Interesting.
Really, really weird. I reckon maybe like in when they would feel like, oh, you know what, this is the end. Probably just wake up and it's all gonna be a dream.
Yeah.
That'd probably be
Some
it.
like Shyamalan shit.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, they'll be like, well, obviously, did you not see like the
Yeah.
set it? And
Did you
you'll be
not
like,
see the signs?
oh,
He'll wake up and it'll just be like this big wet dream.
Oh, fuck that! If you haven't seen Sex Education, have you seen?
Yeah,
season
I've seen it
two?
all.
Dude, blitz through season 1.
Yeah.
Season 2
Yeah,
has
it
got
gets so much
one of
better.
the funniest scenes to start the movie. Honestly, it's fucking brilliant. It's so good. Like, I heard people complaining that. I was just like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
This is absolute gold. Like, it's so fucking funny.
they like push the boundary a little bit on.
It was a good way
That's
to.
funny.
I think because they were starting a new season, they had to kind of be like. "Look,
You
we've
need
got
to
we've
you
got
need
Nice,
to start
okay.
a season in a big way, don't you? If you're
Yes,
going to do that,
yeah.
and it definitely starts it in a very, very big manner.
I definitely need to check this out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
go
both
for it. I
recommend
think. So should we wrap things up there?
I think we
Yeah.
probably should. Yeah.
I
Thanks
do-
for joining us today.
It's alright.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like-
was all mine.
I definitely think after your analysis, 100%, me and Stan definitely need to go check out Parasite.
Yeah, I mean,
Without
I haven't
doubt.
told you shit about it. Family meets another family. It's good.
No, but that's a good thing. I think
Yeah.
with something like that, you kind of want to go in with a.
You need to go in empty head. Like, I
That's
didn't know shit
exactly
about
it.
it when I
Yeah.
went in, and I think it's one of the, like, so last year the Oscar was won by Green Book. And
I love Green Book.
this is better.
I don't know if it's
like,
Oscar worthy though, but
it's not Oscar
but
worthy.
then again, it was I liked it. Anyway,
But yeah,
Yeah.
I think this is one of the times where I'm just like, yeah, this was the best movie one. And I think
I think
I don't know
I've
anyone
seen-
that's seen. I don't know anyone that's come out of it and been like, everyone's been blown away.
Blows
Like,
you away.
I think I've seen most of the ones that were in the category for Best Picture, so I'm intrigued to now watch Parasite and be like,
Out of the ones you've seen, what would you be your favourite?
so what else do we have? There's 1917, Once Upon a Hollywood, Bombshell, Marriage Story,
Joker.
I
I think Jojo's in it.
that's the thing. I've got a real soft spot for Jojo Rabbit.
so do I.
Real soft spot for
Yeah.
that movie. I'd say out of all of them, Jojo Rabbit or I don't know. I kind of feel like Joker's a bit of an easy.
Yeah.
They should really bring out like a first, second, third.
Yeah.
Like give me
It's
a
like a
gold,
order.
give me a gold, silver.
I know what you
bronze.
mean,
Just so I
really.
can kind of see who could have won.
Must be so
Who
difficult.
got second place? That's what I want to know.
There was that one award in '98 where they had Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, and was it Shawshank or something like that? They had this unbelievably tough choice. Imagine that when you're sat there and thinking,
Who won
I
it?
want to vote every-
Shawshank. Nah, Forrest Gump won it.
Forrest Gump won it.
Well, I
That
don't
was
know,
it.
because I'm looking at this, I'm like, Marriage Story, I really enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it in a different way. Jojo Rabbit, I really enjoyed
Yeah,
it, I
see,
enjoyed it
that's
in a
the
different way.
thing.
Joker, loved it in a different way. Do you know what I
different
mean?
way. Yeah.
I like all these movies, but I like them in different ways. I think for me, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, as much as I like Tarantino, it's definitely not his best work, nowhere near, and it's
No.
one of the weakest.
Well, that's the thing. You should
One
say
of the
that about
weakest.
you could say that about The Irishman with Scorsese, because compared to so many of his other films, it
Yeah,
just
what's
doesn't
he
compare.
ever done, eh?
I think the difference with the Irish story, the Irishman, is that because it's a gangster movie with like all his actors in, it's very easy to
You
be
can't
compared
help but compare to
Casino,
Goodfellas,
Goodfellas,
etc.,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. Whereas Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, my girlfriend doesn't really like Tarantino, which didn't know him, so I
Oh,
started
right.
showing her all his movies.
Oh, nice.
And then she got really, really into him. And I was like, yeah, now this one's out in cinemas. And
Yeah.
she fucking hated it.
Ah,
But she just was like, it's long, it's boring, Is this that and the other?
It didn't have the
Was
same
that-
impact.
I really,
somehow.
I liked it.
I
But
liked it.
I agree, but it's nowhere near. Like,
It's not. It's
I-
not a
I
worthy
usually-
winner.
five
Not a
for me.
worthy winner.
I usually quite enjoy like long, boring movies about nothing. I do. Like, I do.
Yeah, I like
He's
it.
an interesting guy.
I will watch a movie like that. You know, like give me Clerks. Give me Clerks. Like that. Literally, nothing happens. And you know, you've got all these little plot threads.
just
that come
hanging
off.
out with these guys.
Yeah,
as
and
well,
nothing happens of it. It's just that's it. It just finishes. Well, I love it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
We're gonna test that theory because I told you about that film.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Jerry.
Was it Matt Damon?
Matt Damon and Casey Affleck.
Yeah, bring
and
it.
They just go on a walk. There's
Man, I'd watch it.
they basically don't talk. There's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
Casey
storyline.
Affleck.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. It's like
What's it called?
I think it's just called Jerry, and the test
Jerry.
of the film is almost to just make it through it.
Is it a
That's what
proper feature-length movie?
feature-length film. Yeah,
But this is the
for
thing.
sure.
You haven't,
it's unbelievable.
you haven't watched it to the end, so you don't know what happens.
Yeah, because I went and googled it, and it was like literally nothing does happen. Like this is like it's almost like the garishness of being able to just be like, yeah, we're gonna make a film about nothing. It goes nowhere. There's no like clever twist. There's no storyline or character. Like this is the thing. You think
Are they playing themselves?
they kind of are. They
Very
kind of. This is the thing. They
Just
kind
left
of.
their phone on.
They kind of don't
Make a
have
movie out
to
of this.
do anything. This is the thing. They're just eventually. Like, occasionally they'll like say something very like coded almost, but it won't be very insightful into their personality in any way. So they're just there. They're just in the desert walking, trying to find their way back to the car, which you saw them get there in, and that's it.
Of
I'll
all
tell you
things
what,
I'm
if-
taking away from you, I'm going to go with Bombshell. You're going to watch some fucking Casey Affleck. Matt Damon.
I love that you're going to go and try and watch it. It is a
If
test.
you watch it, I'm never coming on your podcast again.
I'll tell you what, fair play. If anyone's actually made it, this like listening
Yeah.
this far into it, fair play because
Yeah.
I feel like there's been quite a few nod backs to previous chats.
Yeah, this is the thing. One of our sequel listeners.
Definitely.
Yep. We
Right,
know
so
you
my
don't exist.
homework, mine and Stam's homework, we're going to
Got
watch
to watch
Parasite.
Parasite.
Yeah.
Your
I'm going to
homework,
watch Bombshell.
and you got to
You
I'm
both
going to
got
try
to
and make it through, Jerry. I
Both-
might just put it out on the side and I'll just watch Bombshell.
Both watched 1917.
What-
yeah. I'm going to watch 1917 this weekend.
Yeah.
I just didn't get around to it last week.
It is events and
We didn't really
you
talk about
can't not be.
We didn't really
there.
talk about Little Women, which you've seen. Do you think is that worth a watch? But I'm assuming it is.
It really is like it's got a lot of character to the way it's filmed. Like it's got just like the whole film is filmed with a really warm family kind of vibe, and you just like you can't help but like really get interested in how it's gonna play out. But again, I think my main takeaway was Saoirse Ronan. She, for me, I think she could have won the best actress. Obviously, I haven't seen Judy, so I can't compare. But she's like sparkling throughout the film. Like she just really has this like joyful kind of bouncy character, and she pulls that off so well, you know.
Check it out.
Worth watching. Laura Dern's really good in that as well. That's another thing. I was surprised she wasn't. But yeah, just a great story, really well told. The acting's quite good. They've got the girl from Midsummer. Did you see Midsummer? Florence Pugh, and she's
Midsummer's great.
excellent.
Midsummer's great.
Thank you.
Midsummer was
My best horror film was last year.
terrifying.
Stam didn't enjoy it.
Do you know?
Well, who did enjoy that film?
It
It's
enjoys
terrifying.
a strong word.
I don't know
loved
if
it.
any-
I absolutely loved it.
As soon as the mushroom trip happened, I was like, I don't know
Like
if I'm going to
2019.
enjoy any of this.
I loved
So
it. I
good.
loved it.
Oh.
I thought it was
Yeah.
fucking weird.
It was very
did
clever.
Did you watch Hereditary?
No, you've
Love
told me
that,
about
love
this.
that.
I
That's
need
all.
to
That's
watch
all.
that.
Amazon Prime, man. It's really,
Yeah,
it's
I'll watch that. I'll watch that. So we've got a lot of homework to do anyway.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, we can't get stuck on something. Night.
but dude, it was great to have you on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great to
thank
be
you.
here.
Come back.
I'll be back again
Yeah, make sure you do.
once I've watched stuff.
Awesome, awesome.
All right, perfect. Cheers, guys.
Thanks
Cheers.
for checking us out. See you next week. Woo.